Yeah.
By the time I got done, they were round. Even
the they look like this.
Yeah.
I have the same set, Jason.
I don't have many more. Mine were lost, but I kept my deep.
I still have the box.
And it was like a marble. I remember. It was like it was like roll forever. It's like, what's going on?
Time to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to DM my first session this Friday for 5e.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Here's some advice.
Get your own story going.
You're in charge. Just remember that.
Thanks.
The players are not in charge. You are.
All right, Brad's on his way.
You'll get railroaded. You'll get people who want to tell you how to do it. Don't do it.
Okay, so let us begin formally. Shauna, if you don't want to remain on camera, you don't have to, but if you do have questions, obviously feel free to chime in. We have no timetable. We have no set schedule. Several times during the game, us old men have to get up and go wee-wee, and I have to make dinner for the kids, which takes a little bit, so we are not...
It's a relaxed situation.
I run
pretty mellow.
I run a sandbox game, which means I have my whole world, and if you look behind me, you might be able to see a little bit of the map of it. And so I don't have any preconceived notions or objectives. The only objective I have is I create a world, you guys go in and destroy it, and then the world reacts to them. So if the dice say that something super great happens that ruins it for me, it's like, so be it. But if the dice decide that one of you people are SOL and dead, then that's just the way they fall. So alrighty, so this is episode 47 of the World of Skell, the Ghosts campaign. And a quick update for our players, not update, but recap I should say. So the characters had been sent by the abbot at Black Rock Abbey to find these other heroes. Through a few different adventures along the way, they eventually did, and they helped escort the freed slaves that the other heroes liberated back to the Abbey. They gave the information to the abbot, and they also encountered a strange boulder-looking like object that Bart had researched or had an inkling that something about it was possibly... He was just sure it was magical and had a purpose. So the characters did some research there at the Abbey and taking good use of the sacrist, which is the member of the monastery that oversees the relics and the very maybe holy items or magic items or what have you. And then there's the librarian that would, of course, be in charge of making sure that all the books of hours and the illuminated manuscripts of the time are kept in good condition and making sure people don't destroy those. The monastery is based off of a typical 1400 style monastery where they own the land and they farm it and there's sheep and everything, and it's surrounded by a village. And so the monastery is kind of like the the most important place for this particular area. It is, of course, in a larger kingdom, the Republic of Saskatchewan, and the monastery would take their lead from the church at the biggest town, which is the port town of Tila. And the religion is called the Blend, and it's basically the Blend observes any and all deities, good or bad, or powers, and they just kind of lump them all into one thing. And so the last game, the heroes they did some more research there at the monastery and got some more information on this magical item, the Constellations egg, and found out that some of the strange either runes or lines or geometric shapes on this large round rock were actually constellations of the sky, and that the abbot, who was asked if he had heard of this egg, and I rolled and it came up with a success, and he had said that it was supposedly a mythical item that would allow whoever had it to make their armies more powerful, controlling land and territories. So it was kind of lost to time. They had also found out that someone they had encountered was, who he said his name was Colam. He was somebody that had put the egg at a certain spot in the land to create a harmonious kingdom. And in this kingdom in particular, on this continent, now I have run stories throughout the continent in many different places, but in this particular area of the continent, this republic, it is most like a high fantasy type setting. There are lots of races that wouldn't normally coexist. So whereas you could think of some of the other places on the continent being like a Tolkien novel where everyone is separate and possibly at odds with each other, in this particular republic there's elves and dwarves and all your normal humanoid races, plus gnolls, bugbears, all kinds of different things. And basically the kingdom has a religion that takes in all other religions and a society that takes in all other societies, so long as they do no harm. So, an outlaw gnoll is going to be an outlaw gnoll. There's going to be an outlaw in spite of him being a gnoll, just as there would be any other criminal or no good, rotten SOB. So, we left off, or the last game also, so they were outside. They were just kind of killing time before there was going to be some more spell casting. And there was a ruckus coming from the fields, the lower pasture, and turned out that there was a man-size, like a bigger than a regular wolf, was there, and he was acting funny, as the druid could tell, and attacking the sheep. Possibly, the threat was maybe it would go after some of the people that were trying to escape, so the heroes went out there and unfortunately had to put the wolf down because it was crazy. Had crazy eyes and a little bit of foam at the mouth, but upon inspection they found that it had some type of disease, and upon further inspection it reminded them of a disease that one of the characters had caught when it encountered a spawn of Zonagon, Xanagon was this fish-like creature, and this
That we
is
defeated.
this is what the
Stop though.
that's what it looked like. So for it's kind of a cross between like a giant eel with tentacles, basically, and it had some type of mind control. But they found that in places where there's water, that there were smaller versions of these things that apparently had come from the big one. And so apparently the wolf had encountered one of the smaller ones possibly and infected. At least that's what the clues would lead them to believe. And that was pretty much certainty with their roles. So there's that issue that they have to deal with at some point or not. But the big problem is that there's slavers and they're an army from a southern continent that are coming on land and taking people against their will, and then they are transporting them to the southern islands, and they have been told that these southern islands are ruled by giants. So one of Daryl's character, his name is Boris Crump. He is looking for his sister, who was taken as a slave, and has, through some magical spells cast by Sister Vanessa, a female member of this monastery that Daryl runs as well, that Boris's sister is most likely held by one of these giants. The description that Vanessa gave was a misshapen humanoid, probably 10 to 12 foot tall, with a bunch of cages in front of him, and the classic, ha ha ha, look at me, I'm the slave man. And she described a woman that she saw, and Boris said, yeah, my sister has that tattoo. So that is one possible lead. Jason plays Shadrach, a druid who is obviously not down with the terrible things going on with Xanagon. They had defeated Xanagon in this very monastery, or at least Xanagon's master. So they've all Bazanagon. That's right. It was kind of a weird combination of fish creature and whatever. And then Jason also plays Guy de Lance, a knight of the realm. Pretty standard knightly individual, seeking glory in combat and things of that nature.
Servitude and leisure.
Stepping on peasant.
Brad plays Bart. He is a
Sometimes
prince of the Emerald Kingdom, which is the northernmost elves. They are much, much farther north. They're way away from this republic where this game is taking place. But Bart's been around long enough to where he can get around pretty much wherever he wants. Okay, so we left off with you guys telling Abbot Patrick about the egg and about the wolf, and basically asking Abbot Patrick if he would accept this mythical artifact for safekeeping, because they think that, and there's Brad.
Brad.
Well, yeah.
Hey.
Brad, welcome.
Hey.
Just so you're aware, Brad, we have what should I say, an intern maybe? That's
a new player.
That's Shauna. And that guy that just joined is Brad, and I was just talking about Brad's character, and he's been gaming this character the most, and so there's appropriate levels to this game. And though Brad isn't always able to make it, Prince B's effects are felt throughout the kingdoms from his past deeds. So,
Good to see you, Brad.
Hey, what's up?
Glad you're feeling
Going
better.
home on my side. Yeah. I actually was gone last week.
all right. Brad, are you aware of what happened last week? Any of the game?
No.
So, your character wasn't around because you know how I just have, if somebody can't make it, their character's off doing something else. But what we should do is we should jump into this game with the next morning after you guys had that conversation with the abbot. And as the day, as the light, as the sounds of the morning start to permeate the building, you guys have the day to do whatever it is you'd like to do. So I guess we can just start with, just to make it simple, everybody kind of, you gonna kill that, Jason? Get it. Where's that cat? Get that cat to smack that down. There was a moth or something flying around you.
Oh, yeah, the moth.
That's right.
I'm expecting the
I was like,
cat.
I thought you said the cat was making a noise. I was like, what?
So just to get things going here, you three, you will you can meet up wherever you want, but I'm just gonna say that you'll meet up after, like, Bart, you asked to see your friends in the morning. You've done your normal thing. So
In the courtyard.
Yeah, I think I'm memorizing, totally rememorizing spells because
okay,
I
well,
memorize all the
that's okay.
spells.
If you can, text me your list of the spells you memorized, if you would, please. Whenever you decide. It's not going to have to be done because these guys are going to bring you up to speed on what they've learned, and I think you might find it interesting. So, the scene is the courtyard in the Abbey. If I need to show you the map again, I can, but I don't think it's that important. And you all can be having a drink of whatever beverage you would like. There's water, there's weak beer that the monks make, if you want some of that, or you can have nothing, whatever. So, go ahead. So there's five, unless you want Paco there, Guy.
Paco is, will be standing by as I'm waiting to be briefed on what our plan is.
All right.
So Paco and Guy are both there.
Okay, so go ahead, guys. You meet up in the morning, and you haven't seen Prince B for at least a day, maybe two.
There you are, says Sister Vanessa. I wanted to talk to you about the egg.
Yeah, should be
You're so
pretty
sweet.
up to be able to go after it now.
I can see how it's funny.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I said I should be standing up another 1 hours.
No, I think someone else was talking.
Okay. I said I should be standing up sufficiently to go after it now.
Good deal. I prayed for a couple hours this morning myself. Shadrach and I used some divination yesterday, and we found out that this thing's called the Constellations egg. And I'm wondering if you say that you can move this thing with your magic?
I should be able to move this thing with my magic. I'm not sure. We'll have to spend some time figure some
Okay, that's makes sense.
Once we figure some stuff out about it, yeah, we should be able to do it.
The blend has blessed me with the information that Colam has been defeated, and that we don't need to try to reunite the two of them, but it's now in our hands to protect the egg and keep it out of the hands of the can't think of the Akaramans.
Okay.
Keep it out of the hands of the Akaramans, and I approached the abbot, and there is a lower level here, and he has agreed to let us store it and protect it here in the monastery. But
Temporarily.
yes, temporarily. And
The monastery doesn't need this burden, but we need to secure this item very soon.
I think that. Don't need to be laying around in the jungle, that's for sure.
near the coast like it is.
So army, I was told.
Nobody knows what it is.
That's right. That is true. The wielder can use it to direct, let's see.
Yeah.
But that was your divination, Vanessa.
To the victor go the spoils. Not only the fort was conquered, and the forest has no protector, but yes, whoever controls it, if they can control it, can wage war and turn the tide in their favor.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it'll do, but destroyed.
The fortress is mostly destroyed except for the walls, but the interior is destroyed, and I saw no sign of an enemy army. So we may have a chance to secure this without too much risk.
Last time I ran across seeing this, I seen it on a ring on somebody's finger. Maybe.
Your microphone is goofy now.
Yeah.
Spit out the marble, Brad. That's my favorite phrase at work for people that I can't understand on the phone. They spit out the marble.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Alright. Okay.
Can't hear you.
I said, last time I remember seeing it, it was right on a captain's finger.
Oh, a size of a ring?
Yeah. So we may be able to revert it back to that, but I'm not sure. That's why we have to spend some time to check into it.
Well, I've prayed and I've got my spells back. Boris steps up and says, I just want to find my sister. Did you see anything else? No, I didn't see anything else. We're concentrating on the egg.
So who took out the fortress?
We did.
I saw nobody. No sign of
We took out the fortress. Was that your question? Who took it out? Yeah, that was us. We set it ablaze before we left.
What happened to the slavers?
Shadrach, did you look at their camp?
I didn't have the opportunity, but as I said, the fortress itself, there was no indication of anybody in the vicinity. But there still very well could be.
Well,
If I can take another look, I can take another look, but it'll take time, and I don't know how much time we have to secure the egg.
Are
I'm
you
nervous about that?
You said you feel prepared, Bart? Prince B, to take us?
it's gonna take me some time over there to identify the item and figure out what it does.
How many of us can go? And
Yes.
How many of us can come back? Because if this
How many
item is
others?
large, if this
Sure.
item is a huge item, then it'll be very heavy. But if you say, as you say, it can become a ring, then.
Well, there's three or
But
four of us.
I will not agree to anything that strands somebody unnecessarily.
What is it? 3 or 4 of us. 3 or 4 of us
Yes,
going.
and I'll be one of them.
Right.
And Vanessa says, I have spells that would be beneficial, but Shadrach is, with the two of you, you should be able to learn all you need. In the meantime, I can prepare the area.
Hold on,
Please.
Daryl. Let Daryl talk, and then whoever wants to go next, raise your hand. Go ahead, Daryl.
I can prepare the area while you guys go and investigate. And if you would take a walk with me, I will show you this area, Bart, so that you can become familiar with it and know exactly where it is to aid in your accuracy of your spell.
That'd be helpful.
But perhaps I would suggest that Boris go. If it gets us closer to my sister and finding her, then I'm all for it. Okay.
Vanessa's hand and says, "You should never be in danger, Vanessa. It's dangerous."
Thank you, Shadrach. I appreciate that.
Now, now that you've been talking here, go ahead and how about give each of your characters a description for our sit-in here, Shauna. So let's start with the most senior member. That would be Prince B. Prince B, what do you look like?
I guess a middle-aged elf. That helps any. About 5 foot. Got black hair with white streaks. Violet eyes. Let's see what else I got. I wear fine robes and pretty much it.
Do you have any jewelry?
Oh, tons of it.
Tons of it? Okay.
I
I used to remember Bart in the
got
pit.
like 3 rings, 4 rings.
Would you say that your manner of dress would be opulent, like Ric Flair, or would you say it's more sedated?
It's probably a little more sedated.
Okay.
Boom.
I try to show off when I'm not away from the house.
All right. Very good. Okay, then let's go with. Let's just start at the left. We'll go with back and forth between our top 2 players here. So, Daryl, why don't you describe Vanessa, please?
Vanessa is a 7.5 foot tall, olive skinned, half ogre. She has big teeth and wiry hair. She's got big hands and big bosom and narrow hips and big feet. And she's wearing a long robe. You can tell that it's similar to some of the other monks of this monastery.
Now,
She's also got a sash with her emblem, which is like the DNA strand, sort of. It's the symbol of the blend. And she doesn't wear a lot of jewelry. She might have a leather tong around her neck with something under her shirt, but
Vanessa's miniature I found, made somebody, I think maybe they were in Australia or something, and she's actually about correct in proportion to the other figs here, and she's got the long top knot ponytail, and Vanessa, does she carry a staff?
when she travels, she
Okay.
does, but at this point in the monastery, she's not carrying it, or a backpack.
And so I'm
Wearing big sandals that kind of strap around her
Yep.
foot.
Anyway, I just thought that was cool that you could find a figure for such a unique character.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, let's go to Jason. What does Shadrach look like?
Shadrach looks Amish. He has the kind of Amish beard without a mustache. He looks like an Amish hippie, is what I would describe him. He doesn't wear a robe. He wears regular looking clothes. He's always appears, unless he's in the middle of something that, like one of our major expeditions, he's always clean. He has a scimitar. If he's ready for action, he has a scimitar on his belt. The only jewelry he might wear is a plain torque that he has around his neck. It's not jeweled and it's not of any kind of precious metal, but he wears a torque. He seems to be kind of subdued, but you haven't seen him emotional yet. So, but most of the time he seems quiet and intellectual. He doesn't come across as somebody who's waving his arms in the air and shrieking or anything like that.
Right on. Okay. And then let's go back to Daryl. Could you please give us an idea of what old Boris Crump looks like?
Boris Crump is a tall human with dark hair. He's muscular. He's bare-chested, wearing a loincloth and leather boots. He's got a wolf hide cowl with like the wolf head on top and the cowl down around his shoulders. And he carries a spear and a axe. He's got a backpack and not a whole bunch of stuff. He's the obvious barbarian. He's a little bit touched. He's not a bright man. So I based him on Forrest Gump because I love the movie, and so he's Boris Crump. And then sometimes you just see him sitting there with his hands on his knees staring off into space with nothing really on his mind. Other times he might chew your ear off about that time when he was at Mama's house, and then those things happen. Must be tough being a colonel.
Okay, very good. All right. So, did I interrupt your guys' conversation in the courtyard, or were you?
We're waiting on Guy DeLong's description.
Oh, and Guy finally, not last but not least, Guy, Jason.
He looked like a professional wrestler. He's not massively built, but he's obviously quite fit. His hair is cut short. He has a couple of moles on his face. He's not unattractive. In fact, he's physically attractive. Unlike Boris, he's a tank. He wears armor. He's clearly a knight. He struts around. He talks a lot. He looks down on people, but you've never, if you would observe him, he may come across as loud and boisterous, but he's not really mean. He doesn't treat people badly. He might talk down to you, but he doesn't harm peasants. He's basically a nice guy, but he's not brilliant, and he thinks a lot of himself because he's a knight. And so that's if he's not treated properly, he gets kind of stuffy. But you would never see him beat or hurt a peasant unless they really, really, really pushed it hard. And he has a servant, a squire named Paco, who's very attentive. So, but yeah, he is not a bad person.
And Paco, being a squire, he is played mostly by Jason. But if Jason has his squire do something that could be considered questionable or dangerous, then the dungeon master rolls, and it's possible that Paco could like leave or revolt or what have you, and then obviously if he's treated better, then that affects those rolls. But normally the animal friends or the squires or whatever, they don't, as long as they're not put in any danger, it's kind of like I'm not going to go out of my way to
he doesn't mistreat Paco, and he doesn't ask Paco to like block the arrows, Paco.
Right. The classic, I need a henchman so I can have someone be a meat shield. It's like, yeah, no henchman for you.
Meat shield.
Okay. Paco's a classic squire.
All right, so were you guys finished with your conversation in the courtyard, or? Go ahead, Daryl.
We were going to walk to the sanctum that had held Bazanagan so that Bart could see it and be familiar with where it is.
Okay.
I want to look at it too and check it out.
And is everyone going? Who's going and who's...
Well, Boris and Guy, you've both seen this egg as well as Bartolanthus. How large is it?
It's large.
Will it fit in this space? That's what I'm concerned about.
I don't think it was bigger than a house. What we figured it was about? It was a big rock.
So,
It was way taller than me.
Was it really tall?
yeah, it was a large boulder.
It was kind of shaped like an egg.
That boulder. I have a personal remembrance of it being about 6 to 10 foot long and maybe 3 foot tall. But I mean, I'd like to actually see a picture of it.
Okay, so just I was just about to say, just so we can all kind of get on the same page on this, I'm picturing something like 6 foot tall and, you know, egg shaped, so that at the pointy end is, you would assume, stuck in the ground, which leaves the wider portion closer, you know, in the top half. And that's about 3 foot around, 3 foot in diameter.
It was 3 foot by 6 foot.
Or maybe 4.
Yeah, well,
You know, it's 6 foot
Okay.
tall, and then whatever, an egg, maybe 4 foot at its widest.
That'd be like how long it is, 6 foot. It's stuck in the ground.
How tall? It's
Yeah.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it,
Yeah, that's how I pictured it.
assuming there's not a weird root that comes out of it and burrows into the ground, that would be a
It's
shocker.
about the size of a freezer, right? Like about the size of a freezer or a
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, I was right.
Good deal.
And
Not
then,
as large as I imagined.
do you remember the
Yeah, you
color?
were thinking about the size of the car.
Remember the
I was
coloration
thinking
that
about
I
that.
described of the
So
rock?
it's kind of a gray marble.
Yeah. Yep.
It had lines on it.
It'll fit in that room. Should fit in that room because there was a big old slab in that room.
Yeah,
Several of them been fighting. So yeah,
I
that
agree.
room's big.
I just did not know how large the egg was. I was, from the drawing in the book, in the library, I thought it was larger.
I mean, and Guy's like, I just thought it was a big rock.
It and just for another like a reference point, it was about like what the picture in the book, that hand drawn of Colam. He's kind of the same height.
Okay.
At least he was until he
And I thought
was.
it was more of a blade down on its side, and I didn't know it was up pointing up in the air like it was sat there. But I get that now. Same difference.
Okay, so who is going to the old dungeon?
Vanessa.
Vanessa is. Anyone else?
And
Shadrach. Prince B.
he's not going. He's like, yeah.
Okay, Guy and
Of course I
Papa.
am.
And Boris?
I'll stay out in the courtyard.
Okay, so a slight breeze sort of picks up as the group kind of separates. Now, having been here many times, you know that there's possible magical defenses to this house of healing, and that nothing that the spell construes as a weapon can enter without it causing pain to whoever carries it. So,
Prince B, are you carrying a sword?
No, I'm in monastery. I would be carrying my sword with me.
Chad
Okay.
disarms himself.
I just didn't know if you were aware, but pain will be inflicted on people carrying weapons within the monastery
Awesome.
through magical protection.
Shad looks at him like, awesome.
That's good to know.
Okay, so as you guys head into the wing, how should we say, the infirmary, and you briefly make that left, and then there are the steps that go down.
Toot, 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 toot. Down I go.
As you go down, there's no light. Obviously, the elf can see because his racial ability allows him to see.
I can see also.
Okay.
I pull out one of my light scopes. For everybody else who can't see.
Okay, so as the eyes of those that have infravision are adjusting, all of a sudden you are blinded for a split second. You put your hands up, as then your eyes readjust back to light, and you see that Prince B in his hand is holding something that is giving off light that's equivalent to, I think it's more than
It's a lantern. Yeah. It's like a lantern.
So
I was going to say, I was just going to cast an Orison, but I'm okay. He makes light.
Yeah.
the area that go down the steps is about a 10-foot drop, maybe a little more. And then at the bottom, there's just an open room that looks like all of the things that were in there before have been removed. And there looks like there's been some kind of construction, because the secret door that was found and used, it is now like marked off by probably a stonemason or whoever. Jason has his hand up.
Is there any blood stains?
I would say if there was any fighting that took place in this area, there could be, but you don't notice any. You can make me a perception check if you'd like.
I was wondering if it...
I don't want to step on the blood stains or anything. So
I wondered if it had been cleaned up. You say there's construction happening. I thought maybe it had.
Yeah, like the old, like all the coils of rope and the tools and stuff and the planks of wood, they're all gone. So
Not as smelly as it was, I hope.
there's you know, like have you ever been somewhere and there was a lingering scent? And that could be terrible or that could be good, depending on who recently was there. Or maybe like at my store, sometimes when the deli is cooking something, there's a strange odor that comes from the deli, but it doesn't come from the front of the deli, it only comes out the side. And I have no idea how that works, but it's like, what is that? So it's kind of like that, but it's not nearly as overpowering as it was when you guys went down here before. So you, I'm just going to go ahead and draw this out on the...
Now, just for your information, Kyle, we can't see that table at all.
Right, I'm going to switch the...
Okay, I just, because you were like holding figs and stuff earlier that I could not see in any way.
Can you see this?
No? Yes.
No, yes. Isaiah...
Your
Isaiah...
hand is down here. Can you see this?
Isaiah, are you hungry? No. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to switch the camera here just to make it a little easier because even though I'm not expecting anything weird, you never know.
If I remember, it's just a short hallway, and then
All right.
it opens up.
So I'm down in the right corner here, as you can see. So let's come back to here. And then I will just draw this out really quick. Okay. All right, so each one of these is 5 by 10, so 5 by 5. And then this is the end. That's the door to the outside.
Sorry, my roommate made me laugh. Go ahead.
Good times.
Good time. Okay. And then going down.
Vanessa turns to Shadrach and she says, I remember the night that you came out this door, you had horns on your head and you had claws on your arms and you had violence and power in your stature, but in your eyes you held remorse and fatigue. And you walked right past me and up those stairs.
I don't like hurting people.
I'll never forget the juxtaposition in your eyes from your demeanor. It struck me, Shadrach.
I set free the beast in me that night, and like I say, I don't like to hurt people, Vanessa. Not my...
I know that. I see that. And I could see it that night. You walked right by me. You didn't even see me. You were so distraught.
Hold on, guys. You keep playing. I gotta take this.
That's why Shad did this for looking around for bloodstains on the floor. He didn't want to step on any bloodstains. It's like I'm still not comfortable being here.
It's also the night
But I can't
that
anyway.
I met Montooth and saw the holy light of the blend within him.
Well, you may see the light of the blend within me, but I don't know. I'm in a strange time in my life, Vanessa.
Your light is green.
When you say that, his eyes flash green. Chad doesn't smile very often, Shauna, but at this point you would have seen him smile.
It
He's
is.
not an unfriendly person, but he's not very cheerful.
This place may still hold evil, and I'm going to find that out.
Well, let's hope that we don't bring any more here.
Yeah, I don't want evil spirits or sense, any taintedness to this area when we bring this relic here, if we're able to, Prince B. Of course.
I'm uncomfortable in the monastery itself, Vanessa, and I feel that sometimes my presence here is looked upon as an offense, and I think it's quietly kept to them that they just let me roam around.
No, not at all. The blend accepts all who are peaceful.
But I'm not of the blend, Vanessa. I have a different way. And I feel that
you serve good. I sense that as well.
I serve the balance, Vanessa.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Balance is necessary.
The balance is unbalanced, and evil is in great stride.
That's why we have to keep this egg from the Acharamans. Let's sanctify this ground.
See,
What
I
is
don't
it?
believe know.
They may not even know about it. Consider
I hope not, but I think they searched for it.
I've already told them, Bart, that I will take responsibility for this. It's not this monastery's responsibility. And I think we're bringing danger upon this place.
Shadrach?
I don't mind bringing it here. It's better than where it is. But I'd like to make arrangements to take it to a safer place, or a place where it will not bring harm to these innocent people.
Perhaps.
There are a lot of innocent, ignorant people that live here, and I fear for
their
them.
relic. It's their relic. It was given to them by their gods. They should be able to keep it.
With time, I can create a special place to keep this egg. But
Yes, a sacred grotto or a natural cave, perhaps.
yes, I can make great efforts in this endeavor. I've already looked to them. I have a plan of my own, which of course, it's my own plan and not anyone else's. But again, I don't think the monastery is a good permanent place for this.
No, I
Not to
agree.
mention the fact that Zonagans spawn are obviously at work in this area. And you yourself said, Vanessa, establishing the fortress as a new place in the north, I think would be a very good idea. And I think we could share in that endeavor without interfering with each other's faith.
I think that's a interesting plan. Cobb, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I would like to cast Detect Evil as I roam into and look about this room.
This is the little storage area. You haven't actually went into the dungeon part.
Okay.
Do you want to go into?
I thought we were like just walking as we had our conversation.
Because I looked at bloodstains, remember? I thought we were already in there.
No.
Boom.
Okay, so you got to tell me the secret door, as I said, has construction. So, but it's not easily passable. It looks as though they are working on something, but it's not like open like a doorway.
Okay, what is it?
It looks
A
like
hole?
it looks like they've marked off where the door would open if it was open. Do you understand what I mean?
Vanessa, lead the way.
I wish I could. I thought there was an opening here, a doorway, a passage to the inner room. Do you remember how this was opened?
The dungeon
I
master
know.
remembers.
Is there a secret door here?
Dick opened it.
I looked
Yeah.
at the door.
Well, it's not so secret anymore, Bart. So
It's marked. There's chalk on the.
it looks as if like someone is getting ready to place stonework or whatever the term would be around the edges of what they think the secret door, the way it would open. And having been here before, it looks like they got that correct. It's just that the thing isn't open. And as you get up close to examine it, you can see that the door, there's like a crack that's obvious in the back wall. And theoretically, if there was light in the inside of that inner room, you would probably be able to see the light through the crack from the other side where you are now. But apparently there's no light in there.
Right. So use my detect secret doors and I try to find a mechanism to open it.
Roll.
I'm looking for it now.
Come on, almighty elf friends.
Well,
Open locks or
yeah.
plus 20%. So that's my, damn. Damn it. Damn it.
So, Brad,
Oh, you're a player after my heart, Brad.
hold on. Brad, you have the option. If you want to increase your chance of success, you will give me and role play in as much detail as you're comfortable with about how you go about doing this task. And if you don't want to do that, then just say, I'm just giving you, I like to give players a chance to use their descriptions and things. And if they make it cool, then I make it easier for them to succeed, but you don't have to.
Passive assistant, know about a temper to door roast, so 1 in 6 chance.
Well, you know where the door is. It's not an issue. It's a matter of...
Come on, Brad.
Open it up. So I feel around the whole doorway, looking for a lock or some type of mechanism pushes in or whatever to try to activate the door.
All right, roll your pick lock.
So I'm taking my... Okay. Pick locks. That's what I'm trying to find.
Well, I can tell you what it
Pick
is.
lock. Base is 15 plus 5.
No, that's not that low.
Huh? I know it's not that low, but it goes get tired of it.
Okay, hold
Big
on.
doors plus 20.
Roll a 1, Brad. Come on.
70.
Vanessa's like feeling, she like picks up her foot like a kick. She's making a kick motion.
2.
Open locks. Okay, so Brad, you have a 95% chance, but this is a more, you know with your experience, this is a more difficult lock. As a matter of fact, it might even be considered magical. And you know that your chances of opening a magical lock by picking it are halved.
I cast knock.
Okay.
And, no, you can see, I'm not kidding.
Kadoom.
I do have it memorized, so.
All right,
Well done.
let me see if knock will work here. I know what knock is. Knock should open a lot of things. JK. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong book. That's Priest. Oh no.
First level.
Gotta get out of there.
I gotta go old school with the actual book here.
Bard ain't no priest.
No. What level spell is that?
1, first, second. Second.
I thought it was 3rd, but my bad.
Okay.
Second.
The knock spell opens stuck, barred, locked, held, or wizard locked doors. It opens secret doors as well as locked or trick opening boxes or chests. It also loosens welds, shackles, or chains. All right. So, you cast knock. You have a verbal component to that spell.
Open sesame. Well.
I don't expect you to remember the magic language that we used to use all those years ago.
I've got it written down.
But I can tell you the first word of that spell would be alt. And then it would be the equivalent of open sesame or whatever. But you do that. And the door opens.
Oh, very good.
some dust kind of falls a little bit from the ceiling as you kind of holding the light in your hand, the light stone or coin or whatever it is that you have.
Stone, yeah.
And as it opens, it doesn't make much noise past the initial cracking. It seems like it's pretty quiet after that. Like this door was crafted very well, probably for a specific reason. But it opens up into a dark room, and your light extends into it.
I think it's like 60 degrees. I have to look it up.
And this room is actually a little bit bigger than where you were, and I can't reach far enough. But who's going in first?
Not it.
I'm going.
Vanessa strides right in. Vanessa, I need you to save versus nothing. All right, so when you get in there, it looks pretty much like you saw it before. The floor isn't packed earth. It's those like stone pavers or big tiles, however you want to describe it. It's gray, very flat. In the middle, there's like a dais, if you will, a little raised area where the creature was kept. There doesn't appear to be any remnants of creature or cage or what have you.
Is there any water in here?
No.
Creature cage.
Any divots or other than the days? Are there any divots in the floor? Pools?
Roll me maybe a perception check there, Vanessa. Does anyone else go in the room besides Vanessa?
Yeah, I follow her.
I'll wait for Bart to go in, and then I will stay at the door.
Okay.
I'm not going in.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so Bart, unless you want to go anywhere particular, I just kind of pushed you there.
Well, I just step to the door, yeah.
30 on the perception.
Ooh, okay. So you see possibly like some what could have been left over from the battle, some nicks or scrapes of the floor, but you weren't necessarily there at the fight to remember exactly what might have struck the floor at what particular place. So, I mean, it's certainly possible. Shauna has her hand raised. Yes.
I was wondering, how do you roll perception? Like,
For
my
second
character
edition?
sheet that you gave me, I printed it out, but
Okay.
on 5E it says like perception, investigation, and it has numbers for each
Right.
of them, so I
Correct.
don't see that on there.
Second edition didn't really have a perception mechanic. Some old schoolers like to just throw a D6 and a 1 means that you saw it, or they just tell you if you see it or not. I always liked the idea of either randomly spotting something that you weren't looking for, or maybe looking for something specific and you just happened to find it. So I just said, okay, roll me an intelligence check, but we use a 30-sided dice. And then so Daryl, I don't know what Vanessa's intelligence is, but his intelligence plus his die roll equal to 30. A 31 would have been a success. And the reason I use a 30 for this instead of a 20 is because I like the higher chance of, I like the longer range just on the perception check versus all the other non-weapon proficiencies. since it wasn't a thing that was in second edition. And it seems to have worked out real good in hindsight. It's kind of second edition and older editions in particular. A lot of players found that when the guys made it, there were a lot of just edge cases and situations that they didn't think to put in the rules, and you had to make it up as you go. And I've got like a whole page on my website that's full of house rules, but there are ones that I've tried and then they've worked, and usually it's just because it wasn't anywhere else in the second edition rule set. So fifth edition made things a lot easier, so that way they're more interested in playing. It's really helped expand the game to more players. So that's why it's a great game. I just, when you got all the stuff, you can just kind of slip it in. I've been playing enough where it's not that big a deal. What, Isaiah?
Oh, today's pizza.
Are you hungry?
Another thing tomorrow's from 5e is the advantage. Everything they roll with advantage or disadvantage.
Yeah.
Which isn't actually in second edition, but
A lot of the good rules I'll steal and put in my game. I'll be down in a minute, I promise.
A true D&D game is homebrew. There's so many, because when I roll, if I DM, I do stuff off the cuff. I have stuff planned. And it's all home. I'm like, my creatures are this. As simple as that. Like in my game, for example, like dragons. Dragons, the color of a dragon does not determine its alignment. You can have good red dragons. You can have bad silver dragons. It's not a determinant, but it's bias. It's like, oh, red dragons are evil. All red dragons are evil. Well, no, that's not true. But most of them are. Like if you say most elves are chaotic good, yes, but there's plenty of elves that are lawful evil or neutral. And so I get now, the alignment thing has always been problematic for me. If it's specific for your class, like a paladin or something, even so, I remember back early when I first started playing D&D, why can't you have an evil paladin?
Yeah.
It's a paladin he has all the same powers, but he's evil. Why can't you do that? Why can't you? It's like, for example, my druid. My druid is probably not true neutral. He probably leans to neutral good.
Okay. As far as alignments go, I just kind of chuck them because I'm a big believer in cosmic karma. So if you're a class that needs to play a certain way for your god to bestow you with abilities, like he was talking about druid or paladin, then yeah, maybe you need to watch it. But if you're just a guy that's going to do something horrible, well, word gets out and eventually the world catches up with you, usually. Not all the time, though. Not all the time. So alignment isn't a big thing for me. I've found that if there is no alignment written on your sheet, it loses its power. So, and that's good. And Brad, you have your hand up.
I just feel like, continual light spell covers 60-foot radius. It's as bright as daylight.
Okay. So when Bart walks in the room, he's pretty much lit up the entire room, and it kind of goes back off. I know it's off the screen because I put it too far up, but it kind of rounds off in the back instead of being square.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go pop his pizza in, so I'll be right back.
Vanessa takes her holy symbol out and she's holding it out in front of her and she begins praying. And she's walking around the room, just so you guys know that she's casting detect.
Yeah, Chad's not in the room for that.
Okay.
He didn't go in.
Just so Bart knows what I'm doing.
He doesn't want to go in unless he has to.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Shad helped to butcher a guy in this room using all kinds of really weird spells, and Shad is kind of a pacifist, and Shad had to
It wasn't a guy. It was a beast. It was Bazanagon. It was an evil tormentor. And yeah, it was a heck of a battle. It was a great session that night.
I basically, Brad, I grew horns, I grew lion claws, and this guy was like this super monk, and I just plunged into him to distract him while our thief stabbed him with the man wide open. Because P would have destroyed Pick. He could have destroyed me. But I just jumped on him with such fury that he didn't know what the fuck hit him. I was ready to die. That was a battle where I was ready to die. I was ready to sacrifice myself so that Pick could get him with the horn.
How unusual. That's a great guess. It's so unusual, Jason.
Well, Shad is a brave person. Shad is braver than you would think.
Yeah. That's got Sean all riled up because Jason, the druid, was a better warrior than he was.
I wouldn't say I was a better warrior than him, but I was more versatile. And I was able to fight. And I could do other stuff too.
Sean.
Well, I really think that he was just jealous, and I hate to say it, but I really think that's what it was.
I'm not sure.
What was he playing?
Shad is not a tank. I can deal out a lot of damage, but clerics are tough.
Yeah.
I have more hit points than a thief.
Yeah.
I have as many hit points as a ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can deal a lot of damage if I want to. Like that spell Windlash. Shauna, my character has a spell called Windlash. It's like, I think it's 2nd level. And it does my level times 2. So 14 points of damage. And they have to make a saving throw or get knocked down. And it's got like a range. It's like a range of 5 yards per level. So I can cast it 45 yards, hit people for an automatic 14 points of damage, and knock them down. I still have to hit them, of course. Yeah. But that's tough.
Yeah.
Even a fighter dealing automatic 14 points, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like I say, I still have to hit. It's not an automatic hit, but I got pretty good. Even a cleric has good THAC0. So.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Shad can deal it out. Shad can deal out a lot of... the thing that I killed the most people with is I cast Thorn Growth in Fog. And it's invisible depth. And these people just basically charged into a field of daggers and died.
Nice.
So, I mean, I like to think that after 30 plus years of gaming, I'm pretty creative with my spellcasting. Or I try to be. So, you'll see that Shad does kill people. He will kill people. In fact, he gets quite violent sometimes. But he regrets it at the end. He's very, he can be wishy-washy sometimes.
Yeah.
Wishy-washy.
Don't know why.
But ultimately, he would rather help people and feed people and grow food. His original plan in life was to feed as many people as he could.
Nice.
And of course, backstory-wise, things happen and terrible things happen, and he couldn't be that person. So, but he still tries to be that person in spite of all his trauma. But that was his first plan in life, was to go out and feed as many people as possible. So.
Nice.
Okay, so thought you quit that.
I cast Wizard Mark in the middle of the room.
Wizard lock?
Wizard Mark.
Wizard Mark. Tell me about that. Tell me about that spell. What's?
I start to draw a rune on the floor. So cast and start to cast. Say the words, cast the spell. Oh, wait a minute. Is it okay if I cast a spell on you?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking you.
She's already casting. She's praying, holding her symbol out.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's not evil.
It's not. Sinner.
Nothing harmful.
We find it.
Peace and harmony and helping the people.
Help us locate this room. Okay, let's see.
Just so you know, Vanessa's got her holy symbol out. Both hands in front of her. She's praying and saying prayers that, Holy Blend, give me the light, shed light on any evil in this area, any traces of befoulment of Bazanagon or his nature. And she prays and prays for a full round while she scans around the room looking for any sign of evil or traces of evil.
And she's casting a spell or just praying?
Yes, it's called Detective.
Okay. All right. So, you do exactly what you say. You cast your spell. You invoke the mana that you receive from whatever higher power gives that to you. Somewhere in the blend, your senses reach out and your eyes almost like glaze over a little bit, as if you are, even though it doesn't feel like it, almost as if your eyes are welling up with tears to someone that would be watching you. And as you glance around the room, you can sense faint traces of evil, most specifically on that dais or altar or whatever it is that's in the middle there, the built up rock and stone. But it's faint, and it's barely like, it's almost like an echo of what was once there. And in various spots around this room, there's like tiny little, for lack of a better term, pinpricks of something that was possibly there that's so long ago, but it's gone now. And you don't sense any pattern to it other than it's random, except for the dais.
Okay.
Jason, we can't hear you.
Chad said from the door, I can still smell it.
Let's see. God bless. Damn it.
There's just a hint.
Still here.
There's a hint of his evil in the days.
Let's see.
Perhaps another spell.
It's cleansed, Vanessa. It's not cleansed.
I need to find another spell.
If Vanessa notices Shad isn't in the room, he's like standing at the edge of the door, kind of like peeking in.
I see you there.
The silence and the occasional scraping of foot along the floor creates an unsettling echo, and the scent that used to be so strong, it's now, you've kind of almost gotten used to it. It's there, but it's it's not overpowering and it's not trying to take over your senses. There is no sound coming from up the stairs, and you can't hear anything from the outside world because of where you are. Except for the sounds of the wizard preparing his spell.
Shad casts an orison on himself. The casting time is 2 segments. I remove all odors from my nose. Disguise scent, that whatever that evil smell is, I neutralize it.
Very nice. Wizard Mark, Wizard 1, page 139.
I got it, hold on. I got it here, just 1 minute, man.
Wizard Mark.
Alternate magic rule. And I start to draw my mark on the floor with green pigment. And sprinkling diamond dust along in the mark.
Shad pays close attention.
Are you picking, are you picking visible, or
I'm picking visible.
when the spell is finished, you want it to go
Glow green.
invisible?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go visible. It's,
Shad watches Bart with much interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's checking out the symbol that he's doing, right?
It's gonna look something like this. Let me find it.
So Bart's making this symbol, mumbling to himself, sprinkling diamond dust. That's when Shad is like, what?
There goes.
Brad, you don't have to draw a mark, but you can kind of just describe it a little bit. Does it look like a letter?
Huh?
Does it look like a letter, or does it look like a tree, or does it look like an animal, or is it like a bunch of random... Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm coming.
That is,
You see,
that
I'll
is
remember
the
that.
That's the symbols for wizard and mark, and then my initial B. Yay.
Excellent. Excellent.
And it starts to glow green as it takes light.
Shad would like to realize what kind of shade of green does it glow? A vegetable green or a mineral green?
An emerald green. Right,
What purpose will this serve, Bart?
we will bring the egg right to this mark.
The altar
Now
still illuminated.
I only have one teleport that's kind of iffy.
Okay. Yeah. You get one a day, or?
See, now we have one teleport that's iffy.
So we'll have to wait when we get to the thing.
Huh?
After we teleport to the egg, we'll have to wait to teleport back.
Well, depending on the way to the egg, yeah, because I'm going to have to identify the egg. Now I have to do it on the spot to see what we can do, if we can shrink it, bring it up, if I can cast
I'm
a spell
prepared for all of that. Spring Spark. I'm ready to go at this moment. We must go.
I guess find a spell.
Shad leave.
See how long
Chad
it can take
opens
us.
the door and goes back out.
It can
Chad
take
goes
us
back
8
out.
hours to identify it. At least 8
Chad
hours
goes
to
back
identify it.
outside. He leaves.
Bart, I appreciate all the help that you're going to give us with this, and I'm not sure what brought you to our area, but the blend works in mysterious ways, that's for sure.
I come looking to rid the world of some slavers and find y'all, so.
Yep, that's our goal. The abbot is just, I don't want to insult you, but he's a little suspicious.
I understand.
He's cautious, I should say, for a man of your stature to show up here unannounced and unaccompanied. No, I can't help that I'm looking down to you. It's fun. I don't get to talk with many elves. It's neat to meet them. But I just wish there was some way for you to ease his mind. I don't mean magically. I don't mean spells. I mean, speak with
I had a phone call, I
the
missed it.
Yeah, speak with the abbot if you could.
Okay.
I said if there's some way you could ease his mind, not with magic, not like that, but just have a conversation.
All right, what's next? So, Bart, you cast a wizard mark spell. You are finished, and you all see that on the floor that he has drawn with his finger, and he said it was in sort of a green pigment, so
Yeah,
I'm guessing you asked him what that was for.
yeah, we had a conversation,
All right.
and Shane is anxious to go, and he has left the room, and then Bart and I were just discussing, and this is still shows a slight hint of Bazanigan's evil, just an echo. I think that I shall work on getting this cleared up.
Did you see that come?
Oh, look at you. Nice.
Yeah.
I still remember Magic Missile, Evil Arcane Elrod.
I got all 6 pages.
What was Ozzy Back Dingle Mess? I remember that for some
Give that
reason.
man 3 points.
All right.
What punch means?
So after you do that,
I
now what?
might still have that in Gaspar's spellbook. I still might have that.
What, evil what punch bloom?
The little list of words, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to do now, gentlemen?
He wants to ease the abbot's mind, but I think we can ease the abbot's mind by just showing him that we're not doing anything wrong and just bringing back the egg.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Shad went outside and started staring at Boris.
Okay. See, you won't need Paco.
Okay, I'm that's the part. I'm gonna stay here and continue to cleanse. I'll perform a ceremony just to
You're gonna
help.
stay behind here?
Yes,
You're gonna stay behind while we go get the egg?
correct.
Okay.
I'll be
Boris is going to go with Shad. I don't know who else needs to go. Whoever needs to go.
Well, we need the 2 fighters to cover our ass in case something shows up while I'm busy.
Shad and Boris will cover your ass while you do everything else.
Yeah, because while I'm casting, I can't be interrupted while I'm casting Identify
Right.
for like 8 hours.
Shad can do a lot of casting too for identification purposes. So yeah, Shad can perform both a spell casting function and defensive function.
Okay. defensive function.
Well, I have spells that I can help us defensively.
Okay.
You were not there when I killed like 50 people.
No, say about defensive perimeter, I'll go ahead and start the work on identifying and getting this thing buttoned up. If I have a problem,
We have to get there first. Let's get there, shall we?
How's this going to work?
I have to roll perception. I take it to remember where the rock is.
I remember where.
No.
I'll think about it too.
No, because
No.
you've seen the thing. Of course, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I spent some time looking at it too, so I'm pretty familiar with the area around it.
Yes.
Okay. Well then, gather everybody up and calculate our weight. I'm sure we're not over 2,600 pounds, are we?
So there's 3 of us, right?
There's Shadrach. There's Bart. And who else? Forrest. All
There's
right.
4 of us.
All right. So those
I mean,
3.
if he can go, he'll go, but if it's too much, he won't.
Guy can go. Paco will have to stay behind though.
Well, then Guy will go as well for sword swinging purposes.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds true to me. Alright, so...
Guy's main job is protecting Bart.
So
I
as
pull out a scroll.
hold on. As Bart and Shadrach leave and go outside, they see Boris and Paco.
Tell everybody, get your things ready. We're getting ready to go.
And you guys have
He
this
says the
conversation
lad.
about who's going to go. And there you are.
Ready.
So,
He elbowed Boris.
hold on.
Says,
So just
you
to-
first, Boris.
just because I know you guys aren't thinking like that,
What?
I'm going to guess that everyone makes sure that they go and retrieve their weaponry and things. Because I'd hate for you to just get down there and be like, oh.
He is in full armor with his shield and his bastard sword in hand, single-handed. Shadrach has his scimitar. That's it.
Boris
In his
is
bag.
like I described him earlier.
Yeah, Guy's ready for full-on combat. And he considers his mission to protect Prince Bart.
And Bart,
That was a good mission for him.
where are you casting this spell?
Yes, we'll do it out in Courtyard. I'm waiting. Wait a second, let me find the words. In a minute. Well, let gather weapons, whatever. We'll figure out what's going on here.
The courtyard is in the monastery, yes?
It is?
Yeah?
Okay. But it's an open area.
Correct?
What is it?
We can't have our weapons in the monastery.
We never had these weapons in the monastery. We can carry them. Right?
We get shot if you go in the monastery. We should do this outside the monastery is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Outside.
Very good. Good idea. All right, so unless you...
Hey, is it actually going to cause us any problems teleporting back into the monastery? We're going to get down into the fucking dungeons? Oh. We probably need to talk to John about that real quick.
Would you hurry up, Bart? Good Lord.
I gotta find the work.
Oh my God, it'll be 3 weeks before we get there. Come on.
Yeah, you know it.
Teleport.
Trying to find rum or something. What the fuck?
Here you go, Sean. This is a simple game.
Person, system.
There you go.
One time.
I pull out a scroll. Everybody ready, gather around.
Okay, so you guys are
Everybody
outside
get round.
in the monastery grounds, or do you want to go completely outside of the wall?
Outside the wall.
Okay, fair enough. So you head off. You
Did somebody
leave.
find out if...
Hold on, Brad. So you leave, and you leave through the eastern gate, the pasture gate, and you walk past the grove, and then you just head off right up into the forest there. They haven't clear cut for grazing, and now as far as you can tell, you're by yourself. As far as you can tell, I would like all of you to make perception checks, please.
Yeah, you.
20.
Ooh.
I got a dirty 30.
Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong screen.
Was it intelligence?
25.
25, that's no good. Okay. Brad, did you roll?
Yeah, 26 to 18. So 30, 42? 42? Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Bart, as you head out into the forest, you can see that there is, you don't really notice it at first. You're kind of setting up and making sure everybody's getting around so that they can, like hold hands or touch each other's shoulder or whatever to make it continuous so you can teleport
Right.
out. And you said you were going to do this off a scroll?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get ready to undo the scroll and you pull it out and you untie it and pop the ends off or what have you.
Yeah.
And you notice an abnormally large contingent of like woodland creatures are like off on your left, which would be sort of north, if deeper into the woods. And they're like all, like there's a deer, there's a fallen tree. So like there's a deer that's in front of this fallen log and it's kind of like just looking. And then you notice on the log there's two squirrels that have stopped what they're doing. And then off to the right you can see a very colorful red bird that's just watching as if you interrupted his morning or whatever. And none of them appear to be anything other than just normal woodland creatures. So that's all.
Just a group of creatures sitting there watching us. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll trust squirrels.
So I didn't see that with a dirty 30?
No, I'm sorry. Okay, so
I open the scroll.
all right. And with the scroll, all you do is start reading, and as you read,
Engelmess. Engelmess sits
and with that, the scroll pops out of your hand, does like this fantastic, it like turns translucent and wraps around everybody like somebody threw a wet blanket on you. And
right.
And suddenly, you're not where you were.
Yeah.
What was your target?
The egg, or just outside the egg.
Okay. You need to roll Personnel.
Personal? Was teleport without error?
His eyes are huge.
Oh, wait, was it teleport? You told me it was teleport. Was it teleport without error?
Teleport without error, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to guess that teleport without error means You don't have
Yeah,
to
that-
roll.
This is on the area with teleportations are used in chance. Prepare for
Okay, so yeah, you don't even need to roll. You don't roll at all. You guys, there's a weird sound as the light, like you're just as if someone took an old timey picture, a flash, and suddenly you're back on this trail that some of you may vaguely remember. This game trail, and then right up, just like 5 foot up the hill on the right at the edge of the trail, is this dark with gray streaks running through it, large boulder, and it looks like it could be an upside down egg if it wasn't a boulder. And for those of you that saw the picture in the history book in the library, it certainly looks very similar to that. And Jason has his hand up.
Chad looks at Bart, and Bart will see that Chad's eyes are solid green with a little tiny red dot where the pupils would be. And he seems very serious, and he looks at you and he says, "How long do you need?"
About 8 hours.
I'm casting.
Okay.
And I start prepping the area to cast the identify. Start cleaning the egg and
Okay.
doing my preparations.
We'll come back to you, Brad. I want to see if anything immediately that Daryl wants his guys to do.
Okay.
Boris is going to stand guard. And he will pay as full attention as he can to everything.
Set as perimeter.
Yep. You, me, and you are going to keep them safe.
He says, exactly.
All right.
Keeping them around Shadrach, you watch Bart.
You see Bart.
Shadrach immediately acknowledges what
We're
you say.
close together.
Shadrach starts looking around. He's looking.
The area,
Shadrach will cast when he can.
the description of the area you were in would fall into heavy to light forest. Being in a different area of the continent would bring a different feeling in the weather. So where you were, it being cool of the morning and a tiny bit humid, here you're feeling the warmth as if something is coming from a high pressure system, so it's like the air is moving past you. And those of you that have been here understand that the wind is blowing out to sea. The sky above is partly cloudy. There's lots of, there's a lot more like low or smaller shrubbery along the game trail than you would imagine. So there's a lot of local animals. You know, you hear the sounds and the word sounds and just the ambience of the forest. You don't hear the ocean, you're not close enough for that. But other than that, it seems very peaceful here. Those of you that have been here before also know that a short distance further north, you're going to find that shack that Flint, Moses Ronald took you to for a rest. So, but Guy and Get your tail out of my food, Grumpwinkle. Guy and Boris take up, I don't know if you guys are next to each other, but I'm assuming you're kind of like just looking at opposite sides of the forest and just swiveling your head around casually.
I would say that we should be on opposite sides of Bart, like one covering his back, one covering his front.
So that's, okay. Then Shadrach was going to cast a spell. Hold on, Brad, I'm almost done. And Shadrach was going to cast a spell. What spell would that be?
Plant growth.
Please paint me a word salad of your magnificent druidic jam.
Chad looks at Guy and Boris and says, "Stand fast, brothers." And looks at Bart again and says, "You said 8 hours?"
Yep.
Chad pulls out a handful of mistletoe, holds it in his hand forward in front of him. His eyes are now very bright green. And he crushes the mistletoe in his hand and he starts speaking in a language that none of the other people can understand. It says, "Mother, Father, grow, protect us, give us your strength, give us your strength." And he pulls open his jerkin and rakes the mistletoe across his chest so that it opens and he bleeds. And around us for on 140 feet per side, the forest and everything just grows up into this giant defensive wall of thorns and thicket. And he says, "If anybody tries to get to us, it'll take them a while." And he holds his hands up, they're bloody. And he says, "Mother and Father, protect us." And he smashes his hands into the dirt. And that's when you see the roots and everything starts. You hear the wood crinkling and crackling and growing. And he says, "You have your 8 hours, elf."
That answers my question. Never mind. We're going to see if I need to cast a secure shelter or anything.
Is there anything? Well, what's the name of the spell? Plant growth?
Plant growth.
Okay.
The spell's effects persist in the area until it is cleared by labor, fire, or such magical means as the spell met. So we are protected by this belt. It says, forms a thicket or jungle that creatures must hack their way through at a movement rate of 10 feet per round, 20 feet for larger than man-sized creature. The area must have brush and trees. I'm sure it has brushes and trees.
Hopefully I described it as such.
Yeah. So I have on each side of us for 140 feet per side is a square of solid fucking vegetation that people will have to make a major effort to get through.
Nice. Well, I would say that there doesn't seem to be any random thing to this, but because of your excellent description, should there be any random roll associated with this terrain, you can be fairly certain that it will be modified. All right.
If any animals show up, let me know.
That's gonna happen.
All right, Brad, you're up. Tell us.
It's all you, Bart.
It's all you, Bart.
I start cleaning and purifying the egg, trying to uproot it from the ground a little bit, so I get the whole thing cleared and clean. And I cast, I had a couple over here. Detect alignment, or no alignment, to see if it had any alignment. And, also, I think that's the only one I'm casting for prequel of it. So I'm only casting no alignment on the egg.
Okay.
Just so I know what I'm looking at.
All right.
If it has alignment. If it has an alignment, it might be intelligent.
Okay, so while the watch is happening, you now feel, you may or may not feel a little bit safer now that you have seen off in the distance, sometimes obscured by the natural occurring phenomena, because 160 foot, if you're centered, that would mean 80 foot every direction. That's as much space till you and the plant growth till you would encounter it. And
We got plenty of space.
for some of that 80 foot, it's obscured by everything else that's there, but you certainly heard things as if you were in a quadraphonic 1960s stereo rock opera growing up and around, and occasionally through you can see some movement as things get pushed around or branches get kind of bent up a little bit from trees that aren't affected. So I would like Daryl to roll me a d12.
That is a 4.
All right. Jason, are you there? Or are you going to be...
Yep.
Can you roll me a d12, please?
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I rolled an 11.
All right. I would like Brad, is there any other anything else before we see if everything works?
Pretty much all I'm going to be doing is purifying the object.
Okay. So when you cast no alignment, you know what level spell that is?
That is a 3rd level spell. 2nd level spell, sorry.
Second level, alright.
It
Let's
has 10
see.
yards, 1 round per level. Duration, area to affect one creature or object
Okay.
for 2 rounds.
You
Verbal fanatical. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
verbal and somatic. Okay, so you you take this round in sort of putting your hands out, speaking the phrase, the magical terms for no alignment.
Division.
Divin. I don't remember the word for no and for alignment, but they're there.
Shadrach. Say. Unless we call it chaos, just to see. Rotan.
Okay, so pretty simple.
Now,
You take the minute to cast the spell, and
Right.
as your senses start to come out from your hands, and everything on your person that can sense something, your nose,
Right.
your ears, your skin, all of them start to exude very small portions of the spell, but in combination, it's as if all of your senses are surrounding this quote-unquote egg, and they are seeping in before you realize that this magical item has no alignment.
Cool. That's good news. Alright. So that I get to purify it.
Okay. So the 8 hours.
Hang on, I'm going to cast another spell
Oh, okay.
in that 8 hour time.
Okay.
Ah!
I'm looking it up right now. Hang on, I got to make sure.
Occasionally, Boris and Guy, you'll look over at Bart, and he's touching the egg, and occasionally he'll his hand will stop, and he'll smooth something and flick his fingers as if something was removed, and then other times he'll take his left hand and he'll run it in front of his eyes, and you'll see like a specter-like set of something go across his eyes, and he uses it to concentrate and look and peer at the object, and then he'll make another hand motion or not, depending on if he thinks he needs to. And he's just doing this over and over and going every inch of this thing. And then after he's done with that, he kind of just mutters under his breath, fuck, because then he goes over, he reaches into his backpack, and he pulls out a prospector's shovel, and he starts digging at the bottom edge of this egg, and he just fucking starts digging away and digging away and digging away. And you can see that over the 8 hours, eventually he digs away to where he's like, clunk, he's hitting it every so often. He doesn't seem to think that's an issue. Clunk, clank, and occasionally a bird will fly around and stop or keep going. And there's you notice that off in the distance there's like a four-legged ground rat type creature that's like looking for food. It's not paying any attention to you guys. The forest is still a forest, but apparently whatever was here is kind of stuck in there with you guys. Some things aren't, like snakes or smaller items, until eventually you see Bart take this one shovel, and he gets it right underneath the leading edge, like the edge that would be considered downhill. And he just looks at it, and he pops it like that, and you see the thing start to lean until it just does this pretty little, like almost slow motion, and just stays like someone that's really good at lumberjacking can drop a tree between like two trailers or whatever. That's what he just did with this, and you can see now at the bottom of the egg it is round. And it looks the same, so it really does look like an egg. And he kind of just looks over at you and winks, and then keeps going. He puts the shovel away and starts brushing all the dirt back with his hands. And then he kind of looks at his hands after he's done and does a cantrip, and his hands are all clean. And then he kind of looks up at the sky, looks around, and then Shadrach, any luck? What are you looking for? Can I help you?
Do you remember? I can't find it, and I don't remember the name of it. It's that spell I cast to where I touch the ground or the room, and within a certain range, I see everything that every item in the room has seen.
I do remember this.
Bart.
Hey.
What's it called,
Daryl? I can't do spells yet.
I don't remember what it was called. It was like...
Hold on.
It was like a word.
Hey, Daryl, do you remember?
Thou that art.
That's it.
All right, so go ahead and look for that.
What level is it? Is that third? I think it's third.
Brad, you're...
Don't cast nothing. Don't cast nothing.
That art, third level. Casting time 1. I'm looking it up right now.
I have to start over.
That thou art is 3rd level. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you.
Do you hear
I
what
have to start over.
Uh-oh, hold on. We interrupt for our station break. Yes, Shauna.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what does it mean when it says casting time 1? Like, does it mean 1 turn, 1 minute, 1 hour?
That means...
One segment.
No, it's not even a segment. It's just...
Second.
It's used for... Usually it's just used for initiative. So if I was to say you were going to cast a spell that is 1 to 3... That's considered fast. So that spell is going to go off unless the dice say differently before a spell that's 4, 5, and 6. Or a weapon that might be speed 1 through 4 is also fast. And if for some reason you guys have simultaneous initiative, then it would matter what your casting time would be. But usually that's just...
In this spell, Kate, it's just a word. I have to say a word and that's it.
Hold on, Brad. Hold on, Jason. So some spells will list a casting time of a round. That's considered a minute. And then if it's a turn, that's 10 minutes. And then it could be, any the rare ones that take much longer, like this one. Now I know in 5th edition, Identify they changed, made it a lot easier. But 2nd edition, we're talking like the movie Excalibur. Things happen a lot slower. So, but that to me, I like the fact that Bart's having to be extra careful to identify it, and I like the descriptions of the thing. So, not every game might be this slow, for instance, but that's kind of what we enjoy. And then sometimes it's just like, okay, you've traveled for 10 days, nothing happened. Then what? Okay, so first of all, Bart is saying, don't cast anything, you'll ruin it.
You cast after I cast.
Where is Shadrach going to cast the spell?
Shadrach hasn't moved from where he stood in the first place.
And we'll just say it's like
everything within
20 feet away?
The range is 30 feet radius.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna, at the end of 8 hours, when I'm sure that Bart is finished doing what he's doing, I will cast my spell.
That sounds reasonable.
Because he said, "Don't interrupt me." I'm not going to interrupt him. I know that he's doing all kinds of crazy arcane stuff, so I'm not going to interrupt him.
All right. At the end of the 8 hours,
Hold on. One at a time. Go, Jason.
Shad is just waiting for Bart to say, "We're done here."
Okay. And Brad, anything from you before we move to the end?
No, I just keep in contact with the item until I get ready to cast the spell. And when I feel everything's sufficiently cleaned and purified around the area, I begin to cast it. I use, I don't know, can I have a luck stone?
Pardon me?
A luck stone.
I thought that you had...
It's an extra additive, so I mean it'd be an extra component. It adds to the,
I was under the impression you had some.
Okay. So I got material components of 100 gold pearl, an owl feather steeped in bay wine, it's all infused in a drink with a luck stone, powdered, added to the infusion, and drank just before casting.
Okay, so you got, Brad, you want to describe what you do, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, would you do it, please?
Okay,
I'm a little flustered at the moment.
You see Bart stop messing, stop looking at the egg. And he takes a deep breath. And then he reaches into somewhere in the folds of his robe. The classic wizard's robe, if you will. Straight from Mickey Mouse. And he produces the items that he just described. An owl feather, a goblet, a pearl, and he proceeds to set those down. And then he grabs another, like what almost looks like a small or regular size stomach turned into a wineskin. And he puts that down as well, and then he reaches in another pouch and he pulls out what looks like little pieces of fuzz and then little pieces of wood, and he starts a tiny little fire. And then he produces this little bitty tripod, and he hooks up a miniature tea kettle, and he pours the wine into the tea kettle, and the tea kettle is about 4 inches tall and about 3 inches wide. And then he takes the owl feather and he dunks it in there. And he kind of pushes it in there and lets it sit for a second. Feathers end down. And he kind of replaces the top. And you guys are looking at this motherfucker like, what are you doing? You're having tea now?
Shad understands. No, Shad understands that the spell casting can be weird and long and take time, and yeah.
He then
he's watching.
Reaches in one last pouch, and you see him kind of holding what looks like dirt in his fingers, and he opens up the little tiny kettle, or the tiny pot, the fucking teapot, and he sprinkles this what looks like dirt in there and closes the lid again. And then he does this weird thing where he looks at the kettle and he just goes like this. Pow! And you hear the tea kettle and the fire goes out. And then he goes over and he kind of lifts it off by the handle. It's a little warm. And then he reaches up and he grabs the goblet and he pours the tea into the goblet, or whatever it is that he made, the wine. And then in his other hand he has a pearl. And he holds the pearl up and he starts to move it around in front of the object, in front of the egg. And he takes a drink from this stuff that he concocted. And just for a second you see his entire figure take on the appearance kind of the egg, just for a second, and the pearl shatters in his hand and goes up in a puff of smoke, and he's stuck that way for about 30 seconds. Shad has his hand up.
Shad was like watching him.
Oh, okay.
Worried.
Bartholanthus, I need you to roll percentile.
Right.
Elves are weird.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
16.
It says I'm supposed to roll this. Rolled by the DM.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Well, roll it anyway, Brad. What the hell?
So
16, so.
let's do.
You told me to.
All right.
Why'd you roll 100%?
The chance of learning a piece of information about an item is equal to 10% per level of the caster to a maximum of 90.
Yeah, I either rolled 1 or 100.
60 to 80.
All right. Only one function of a multifunction item is discovered for handling. 5 different
Yeah,
functions.
wait
of
till I
the
cast
single
that thou art.
or any
Okay.
combination of the two.
Woo!
Okay.
As soon as you started talking about that spell, I knew which one you meant.
Our first roll.
I thought it began with an A, and I just couldn't remember.
I've done that and looked through pages and pages of spells. Like, God, what is that spell?
I thought it was like, as thou speak, and it was like, that thou art. So, okay. I had the right semantic, but not the right words.
Okay. The first thing you learn, Bart,
Yeah.
is that the Constellations, the Constellos egg, is based upon astrology. But it is astrology turned into reality. If an astrological sign is activated upon the egg of Constellos, then that reality is then enforced.
What was that?
If a certain constellation is activated, then the reality of that constellation is enforced. Do you have astrology by any chance? Or
No.
or astronomy? I'm guessing probably not.
I think
Sing it, baby.
Peace will guide us.
All right.
No, I don't. I just
Okay.
have ancient history.
Okay.
Praising or
Fair enough. The second roll.
Okay.
22. That's a success. You learn that the Constellos egg was made by the Aslorian Circle (900 years ago) in an attempt to stop the warring.
Where's the music coming from?
Huh?
Where's the music coming from?
Do you hear music on mine?
It's coming from somewhere. It's loud.
Oh, it's too loud? Okay.
It's Scott's background
Did you
music.
say 900 years or 600 years?
900.
Okay.
900 years?
It was, yes, it was an attempt by the Aslorian Circle to create to create harmony based upon what those constellations mean.
Ooh! Ooh!
And that
Dang it, Bart!
each constellation has its own, like, I told
Can you
you,
see the constellations in the stone better now?
I don't understand. What?
Well, when we looked at the stone before, all we see was cracks and stuff in the stone. Do we see the constellations more clearly now?
Oh, you do, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so, and to activate each individual constellation, that's a simple matter of I guess the term would be knowing what to think. In other words, if you think about war, then you would
Knowing what each constellation is for, right?
you would activate
Basically.
the constellation of the war or war gods or something along those lines. The problem
Okay.
is that you don't know the constellations because by your own admission you don't have
Right.
astronomy or astrology.
Don't mean I can't pick it up.
Okay?
No.
So this will be number 3.
So basically knowing what the nature of each constellation is.
Yes. 76, that is a success. The egg weighs 2,300 pounds. It's solid.
Gee.
It is stable. Like it's not in any danger of fracturing or anything like that. And the mineral is something that only comes from like a very high heat source. So this particular one comes from a fissure that was created by an archdruid specifically to forge it. And if you know anything about druids, then you would know why that might be significant. Okay?
Okay.
Number 4. 66, that's a success. You know that this item was supposed to be protected, or at least be aware. Someone was supposed to be aware of this item. And that was Colam.
Okay.
You are aware. You are aware that the giants have been searching for this, and that they so far have not come very close to finding it. You also learn, let's see, 23, that it is in direct connection with the fractured gate.
Fractured gate.
The fractured gate. And that the only way you can destroy the Constelos egg is to pass it through the fractured gate.
I don't know that we want to do that, do we?
All right. 6, 69. Oh. Okay. You learn that the Constelos egg was in the ring on the hand of the archdruid that forged the fractured gate. But when the stone went through the fractured gate, it picked up these properties from something unknown. There's no way to know. And so the druids got rid of this. At least the archdruid did. Colam agreed to take it
and protect it.
Okay, now for the good stuff. 78. Okay. The possessor of the Constellations egg can do the things that you've been told, activating the constellations. Each constellation refers to either a deity or the prime member of a species or a an elemental force.
What constellations are they most likely named after?
So like they seem to have names like Hera and Zeus and Dionysus and other assorted Greek gods.
So like gods and mythical creatures.
Yeah. You also learn that
so I can basically summon them into being for whatever use we need them. Basically what this is.
well, let's see.
Okay.
77, yep. Okay, so you learn how to activate each constellation. You also learn that with each activation comes the fact that now these things are aware of you. And that the way you activate them, you already know, but now you know what you can do with it.
So basically if you pick them off, they can come after you or individually. That's nice.
All right, there's one more piece of information. There's only, go ahead, Shadrach, what?
Whatever I can cast, you let me know.
All right, we're almost done. One last thing. 34.
So it's the one that bucks it.
Okay, nope, you got it. Okay.
It's the first time I've looked at everything in an item I've had to do with.
So you know that the giants are after this thing. You know that the constellations are based upon mythical or other planar creatures or forces of nature. You know how to activate each constellation, and that if you do that, then that whatever power that is becomes aware of you.
Yeah.
And you realize that if you do nothing with this Constellations egg, then nothing will fundamentally change. In other words, if you move it, no one is necessarily going to come and find it right away. You won't be altering its timeline. And that if you don't alter its timeline, there is a very high certainty that no one will ever find it.
Oh, no one will find it?
And that's because this particular place has a very, very deep connection to this egg. As if the egg has been anchored to this place by perhaps some type of ancient druid ritual that only the high druids
So the egg is
know.
safe where it sits. Dilemma.
I lost you, Cobb.
I'm here.
So, yeah.
So as the sun is now starting to, it's about mid-afternoon, maybe like 3, 4 o'clock. And
You're the cast. Oh.
Bart
I'm gonna tell you.
lets his arms fall. He returns to his regal elven composure for a second before he starts to stumble and kind of goes down to one knee. And that is the exhaustion part of the spell. Shadrach, go ahead.
Shadrach will, at that moment, Shadrach is already, he's sweating. He knows something is going on. He steps forward and grabs Bart by his lapels, and Bart receded his eyes are like solid black with a little tiny green pupil. And I look him in the face, and I say, Tat, Tavam, Asmi. And then I cast That Thou Art.
Okay. Let me look that up again real quick.
The caster sees and feels everything sensed by every person, caterpillar, tree, and rock in the area of effect, 30 feet radius. The onrush is sensitive information allows the caster to know of all beings and objects in the area, including hidden and invisible creatures, traps, and magic items. The caster does not sense thoughts or detect powers of creatures and objects contacted. Because the spell accesses thoughts, any being whose thoughts are masked cannot be spotted solely with this spell. While the spell is in effect, the caster can take no other action. So yeah, I'm just frozen. I've got a hold of his lapels, and I'm just like frozen with my mouth open, and like spit is coming out of my chin as I'm just like feeling everything within 30 feet. Just
Okay, so you sense, first of all, you sense a draining of energy from Bart on multiple levels. His arcane magic leaving his person, his physical energy leaving his person as well. You sense millions and millions of small insects in the area who are just either smelling to go from point A to point B or carrying bits of things. Every tree that's in the area is sensing what a tree would sense. I'm not really sure because none of these trees are sentient.
But nothing has been violated here, right?
Hold on. You can sense from Boris and Guy a tense feeling of
Uncertainty.
like they're waiting.
Yeah.
They're waiting for something, but they're on edge. There is a groundhog that seems to be happy that it found some chewy leaves. There are several birds in the 30-foot range that, just as you cast your spell, you sense them leaving the area, as if something unnerved them recently in your vicinity.
The squirrels.
And you can sense that it's coming from what the egg must have given off some kind of thing, some type of energy that caused the birds to not like it. And I think that's it.
Bart, or Chad will look at Bart and say, "I'm sorry. I had to know. We have to go back. We have to go back."
I should take a minute.
So much. So much.
Boris looks at Guy and says, "Must be hard being a wizard."
He says, "They're insane."
Alright. After I rest a bit, I'm going to cast one more spell. I'm going to cast
Oh no! Oh no!
What?
No!
I said I can teleport it.
Do you know what happens after
It
you
should
cast
hurt.
Identify?
What?
Does that
You
mean
need to know.
after
Roll a
casting
D6.
after casting the
I said
spell,
rest.
after casting the spell and determining what can be learned from it, the wizard loses 8 points of Constitution.
Ouch!
Constitution?
Where does that put your
Oh,
Constitution?
Constitution?
God!
I got 12. 8.
It must be hard being a wizard.
Put me at 4.
Okay.
I bet it
That's
helped
what.
him.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I felt. Shad felt all that. You should have said I felt life draining from him.
You did.
Well, not
Well,
necessarily
not
life,
really.
it's strength.
Yes, it's
He,
I get it back, but it's
hold on,
strength.
I'll read it. He must rest for 1 hour to recover each point of Constitution. So, yeah, you can go ahead and cast the spell, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, you can cast that so I can move it, and then we'll have to rest before we teleport back.
Shad has his hand up.
Yeah.
How long do we have to rest, Bart?
Another 6 hours or so, at least.
Now, you lost the Constitution points, but it doesn't say... I mean, you have to rest an hour to recover a point, but you can not rest and
I think,
push yourself.
Right.
Because your Constitution will be at 4, and if something comes up where you
yeah,
got
but I
to
don't want to teleport that. I don't want to teleport that low.
save or whatever, then that could be a thing.
How long do you want to wait, Bart?
I can throw up one of my one of my secure shelters from my scrolls, and we can rest here the night, and we can go back in the morning.
Shad asks, how far are we from the fort?
Sure.
Hold on, what'd you say, Brad?
How far are we from the fort?
If I cast a secure shelter, nobody leaves the structure. You won't be able to find your way back.
Shad shakes his head. He says, how far are we from the fort?
I don't remember. I think we hiked for a week after we got here.
At least a week from the fort.
A week?
Yeah.
A week.
It's just a long time. We got the
So we'll wait
forest.
until morning is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Will this forest fade away?
No. The forest will not fade away.
The thicket helps.
It will stay here until it's removed.
We'll stay in the thicket then. Good night. Nope.
What time of day is it, Bob?
Oh, it's about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun's on the way down, but it's not like you're in a lot of shade now, being in the forest. Yes, go ahead.
I change into a raven and fly to the roof of the forest. Hey,
All right, so the druid thinks about becoming a raven, and as you see,
I put my hand across my face.
I can do
As
that.
my hand goes across my face, you see it. My fingers turn into feathers, and then when I pass my hand across, it's a bird's beak coming out, and I whoop,
Are you
turn
man?
into a little
Are you
raven.
man-sized raven? Are you man-sized raven? Oh.
Yeah, just a raven. No, I'm a big raven, probably about a foot long. Rah!
all right. So you,
Says to Gee, how about I get some rest so that I can keep watch after you need some rest? While the Bart's sleeping, I'll get some rest too.
He flumps down in a big old pile of armor and says, "Oh God." Ugh. And Cab will go to the roof of the forest and look around, but I'm not going to fly in any direction until I think that I might need to. But I'm directly above the group.
okay, well that's pretty simple to do. You fly on up, and as you fly up, you can see the plant growth, how you ended up, sensing that sort of a big square, and
I'm looking for smoke.
you're looking for
Smoke column.
Make me a perception check, please.
I'm looking for any kind of smoke. Come on, baby. Oh, that's a good one. 33.
All right. As you're up and flying about and looking for columns of smoke, you do not see any columns of smoke. There must not be civilization close by.
I won't go any further than, like I said, just above the group.
You do see,
I'll
however,
remain the bird
as
I'll stay visible on the rooftop until the sun goes down, and then I'll return as human form.
when you say rooftop, you mean the tops of the trees?
Yeah,
Okay.
the canopy top.
Okay. All right.
When the sun goes down, I'll return to the group.
Bart, when are you casting your secure shelter?
We just cooked the guard. I want to last as long as possible.
Okay. So basically, there's not much going on for the rest of the day. So whenever the sun is down, you cast.
Secure shelter.
That's Liamon's secure shelter, right?
Yeah, it's limited secure shelter. Got that sea server and all that crap in it.
A 4th level spell. Look at you go.
I got those on scrolls. I think I had 2 of them left. But no.
Roll a d4.
D4. Oh shit. Oh shit. 4.
All right. So you find a spot where you would like a secure shelter. You get out the spell components of
You got 140 feet on the side, man.
a square
You're pretty
chip,
secure.
a square chipped stone, crushed lime, a few grains of sand, some water, and several splinters of wood. And you also add in the components of the alarm and unseen servant spells, string and silver wire, and a small bell.
Yep.
So as you're casting it, which takes 40 minutes, what you are basically doing is you are moving your hands, and pieces of the surrounding territory start to form a building. And as a conductor concentrates and calls for musicians to play at a certain time, you use your somatic components, being your hands and sometimes your feet, to in all respects the lodging resembles a normal cottage with a sturdy door, 2 or more shuttered windows, and a small fireplace.
Now, once you enter here, you won't be able to see it when you leave, so do not leave the structure.
It happened to me one time.
While the lodging
First
is
case,
secure,
I went hunting and couldn't come back.
the doors, shutters, and even chimney are secure against intrusion, the former 2 being wizard locked and the latter being secured by a top grade of iron and a narrow flue. In addition, these 3 areas are protected by an alarm spell. Lastly, an unseen servant is called up to provide service to the spellcaster. The inside of the shelter contains rude furnishings as desired by the spellcaster. Up to 8 bunks, a trestle table and benches, and as many as 4 chairs or 8 stools, and a writing desk. So, unless you want anything specific, Bart, it is finished, and you are allowed to go inside. And do you have the unseen servant do anything for you?
Prepare some food for us all. I guess you could do that, right? What?
No, you're thinking of a higher level spell.
Yeah, he to serve. Okay.
This place actually is a place. Like it doesn't, you can see it from the outside.
Okay. Alright.
So my question is, besides you, who else goes in the shelter? Hearing no one, I guess no one else goes in. Bart?
The rest will stay outside.
Guy will go in. No, Guy will go in. Shad will have nothing to do with it. Shad is completely concentrated on the egg.
I respect that. The egg's
Shad is all about the egg.
Okay.
He's like, sure, I've been in this place before, sure. You throw a great party, brother.
So, for those of you that remain on the outside, what are you doing? We'll start with Boris.
Let's get some music playing. Get
I'm going to work on my bow, maintaining that, and making I'll pick some good sticks and work on some arrows. And after I'm tired, I'm going to lay down and go to sleep.
Okay.
Keeping watch until I'm too tired to do so.
And what about Shadrach?
Shad is like in deep prayer, holding his head, weeping. There's a lot of shit going on here, and he feels it. So he might eventually just pass out, but until then he's going to be like rocking and mumbling in a language that nobody can understand what he's saying. And he's got his hand on his head, and every once in a while he'll cry, or he'll be like, "Wah!" Yeah, he feels it.
Okay.
So yeah, eventually Chad will pass out. Guy will just go in there and enjoy what there is to enjoy.
What was that?
Okay.
We've done this before. Bart throws a good party. Yes, hot tubs and booze. I'm good.
Okay, so unless somebody wishes to do something else, sleep overtakes you. Now there's a reason why people sleep where they sleep. Otherwise, everyone would just sleep wherever they wanted. So, for the
I
people,
figure Shad could sleep in a pile of trash and be comfortable.
for the
Shad doesn't need a bed. He kind of needs a bed.
For the people that are sleeping outside, I would like you both to make wisdom checks, please. And you're rolling a d20 and you're adding your wisdom.
D20.
Well, you made a mistake there.
So, Boris, what's your total?
12.
12, okay. Shadrach, what's your total?
32.
Okay. Shadrach, you somehow find a mental place where even though you're not on a
Clarity.
nice, not even necessarily cushy, but something like you're not in where you would normally sleep. You could think to yourself that the forest is wherever you are is your home. That's not really true. Everyone has a home. But after today's events, you just happen to find a place that feels good with a rise in the ground that forms a natural pillow, and some reason the groundhog comes up and nestles into the crook of your arm and reminds you of one of your pets as you were a child.
Teddy bear.
Boris, however, tossing and turning, can't get comfortable. The thoughts of magic and eggs and what was his quote? It's tough being a wizard, or something to that effect. It's just, he can't quite wrap his head around all this wizardly stuff. And coming from his background, I don't know if this is in your character description or your kid or whatever, but being from the less than civilized areas, there's a skepticism or a slight
disbelief,
fear about wizards and magic and where does it all come from. So that seems to have an effect on you, and you just don't get a good night's sleep. Maybe you were made soft by the beds at the monastery, the straw-filled floor on the floor mattress or whatever, but...
And I miss home. I wish I was back home with Mom. She always had a way of making things make sense.
Okay, so...
Dad, we'll chop some wood.
Apparently. Inside the shelter, however, Guy and Bart seem to be comfortable.
He is snoring.
And then the sounds of the forest seem to go a little bit less. There's still a lot of creaking and insects making noises and occasional what looks like it could be a flash of something.
I go to bed at dawn, and believe me, it's noisy. Animals are making a lot of noise right when the sun comes up.
Bunches.
But
It made a lot of noise.
I know, it's like, God damn, every dog and cat and bird is like, hello!
yeah, nature gets up, man. When they see the sun, they're like, all right. So
See the sun.
the next
I'm like, there's
day,
songbirds. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, shut up! The sun's not up yet, you fool!
the next day dawns with the sound of, just like you said, birds and the little hedgehog or groundhog somehow ran off in the middle of the night, didn't even wake you
Most
up.
of the bird, I mean, unless there's like lots of dogs, it's mostly bird noises.
The two that are outside get up, and Shadrach stretches and is totally refreshed, and he was missing a hit point. He would gain a hit point back from the sleep. Boris, you wake up and, oh man, you got like a little backache and
My knee is sore.
a little neck twitch.
Hang
and-
on. Hang on.
The rocks here are extra hard.
Hang on.
It's very possible, Boris, that a bug crawled in your mouth while you were trying to sleep.
Oh.
The day is yours to do with whatever you damn well
Okay,
see.
slow rot on
Hey, you made
board.
my mix eggs this morning?
Hold on. Shadrach, are you casting a spell?
No, I was
No.
casting slow rot on Boris. He's
Oh.
not rotting. So
Okay. All right, so when you guys wake up outside, you wake up right when the first light cracks. And you look and you see that secure shelter just kind of sitting there.
I'm gonna go in.
Well,
Boris would wake up with Dad sitting kind of like kneeling next to him, staring at him. With bright green eyes. Just there's nothing else.
Mm,
When are we gonna go back to the monastery?
Chad will say kind of like vaporily, the elf knows.
So what is this thing?
so Boris,
The elf house.
Boris, you get up and you try to go inside, and the door does not open.
Dang it.
Your friend is in there.
Bart, I need you to roll a d10.
Alright.
All right.
I didn't know he locked the door.
Oh, Shauna.
Not much.
Oh, you're in it now.
1, okay.
One.
You're
Let the
sleeping.
confusion begin.
You and Guy are sleeping peacefully in the nice, dark, secure shelter.
Somebody
Paco's sleeping in there too.
Paco. Paco.
Oh, that's right, he didn't go. Okay, that's right.
So eventually,
No, but you got servants there. See, Guy woke up, was like, Paco? Oh.
eventually, Bart and Guy, you do wake up.
Never
And,
being served in the hot tub. You throw a great party, man. Wow.
That was great,
I'm
man.
going to guess one of you
You
is.
make the king the tail.
I'm going to guess one of you is going to go and at some point go outside. And when you do, you can see Boris and Shadrach there
You can go out
waiting,
looking for Boris.
waiting patiently.
Boris! You okay?
Boris has got these big bags under his eyes like he's been up all night.
Why didn't you come in? Well, come on, man. That's
I
all
like
right.
being outdoors. I figured somebody
I
would be in
know. And Guy will look at Bart and say, are we going back? This
But
is
yeah,
nice. Ooh,
What's the plan?
I haven't felt this in a long time. Wow.
We'll go back as soon as we get the egg in order, and we'll step back.
Chad looks at you and he goes, now? Are we going now?
We're going now. Shad, calm down. I like the jury, man. Oh, yeah. We can go back here in a minute.
You look better than you did yesterday. What did you learn about the egg?
I fill y'all in while we're getting the camp cleaned up or whatever.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of magic.
Chad looks at Bart and says, you know, don't you?
I know what?
You know.
I know a lot of things. I know a lot more now.
You know about the egg.
Yes.
You know how it works.
Yeah?
He said he
Tell me.
We either let
Tell
it simmer or travel with one of us. It doesn't need to be in the Abbey.
Belongs to my people.
I agree. It should be
No.
I can set it in a ring for you and you can keep it with you.
We need to take it back. No. Shad grabs his head. He's like, no. It has to stay here.
Yours is good,
It
man.
has to stay here.
Why?
It
We're
stays
supposed
here.
to
We
take
can
it
make it.
Hold on, one at a
You
time.
know.
Go, Shadrach.
She
She's
points to Bart. You know. It's safe here, isn't it?
Yep.
You know. We can't take it back.
Should
That's a
take it back.
mistake.
We should take it back.
No.
I can tell you how to use it if you need to. Should be in power of a druid anyway.
Before we leave and return, I have to cast a spell.
No druid spells. Oh
Now what?
no.
I will secure
If we
the
go
egg.
Hold on, Brad. Go ahead, Jason.
Go, Jason.
I will secure the egg as best I can, but it has to stay here.
Yep.
I know. You know. You know.
I don't know.
Don't laugh, Elf. You know.
What?
You laugh at me.
I
You
don't
mock
laugh.
me.
No.
Prepare your spell, Elf, that we will return to the monastery, and I'll prepare my spell.
Whenever you're ready.
I begin to cast. The name of the spell is Cairn. 4th level, I think. Yes, 4th level, Cairn. Cairn. I've been preparing this one.
Obscure.
Are you reading this one, Cobb? You looking it up?
Almost.
I'm getting there myself.
Okay.
Not chaos.
This is
Here we
all
go.
made for not. Well,
Come on now. Cairn.
yeah, I know.
C-A-I.
I'm a collector, man. I don't want to just leave it out here.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Just look at it.
Hang on, I'm almost there. Okay. Cairn.
Looks so good in my collection.
A handful of pebbles of any type of size. I have, in glass, since we've been there, I have gathered these pebbles. at the moment that he begins to cast teleport, if he does, I will hold the hand of pebbles in my hand, and you can see my fingers moving as if to shape them. And I will call down this rain of stones. I will be like, stand back, you fools!
It's covered with stone?
And I will create this Stonehenge-like sepulcher to enclose the egg.
Oh, look at you, fancy.
The spell transport rock from a random source to rain down out of the sky onto a single surface location within a spell range chosen by the caster.
You break it.
The rock appear 20 feet above the chosen spot and fall. So basically, this igloo of rocks falls around the egg. As I hold my hand saying, Father of the Earth! So I enclose the egg in a cairn of stones.
What's going on here?
All right, so the druid.
Boris leaps out of the way.
So hold on, was the druid? Were you readying the spell on the moment that Bart begins casting his spell?
I had been ready for that whole. I was like waiting for him to say, "I'm ready to go now." It's like as soon as he was ready, bam.
Okay, so you weren't readying, and the trigger wasn't him casting a spell. The trigger was when he said he was ready.
Him ending his spell.
Okay.
What?
All right. So, but today's a new day, and he hasn't cast any spell yet. So there is no trigger, right?
When he says he's done, then I cast.
When we're ready to go, I'll cast teleport without her.
That's when he's done doing what he was doing. As I was sitting there waiting, rocking. When he said I'm done, bang! I did it.
So I would still sit there.
So if anything, the egg is covered in a bunch of stones, and the thorns and everything is still around until it's destroyed. So this place is heavily covered.
It was obvious.
That's my plan. Not to destroy it, not to blast it with rocks, but I'm covering it. I'm creating this dome of rocks inside this area of trees and brush that's really hard to get through.
Right.
So I made it as defensive as possible.
All right. So
Now you need to put some gears. There's something else.
as Bart comes out and you guys are talking or whatever, then you say, "All right, it's time to go." You see the druid reach into his pouch and grab something, and as he holds his
A
hand
handful of
up,
pebbles. Just off the ground. I just grab a handful of dirt and pebbles.
You can't teleport without her. We go so fast, you fucking
Speaking a strange language and stones rain from the sky. It's like creating an igloo of rocks over the egg.
I don't understand.
Where'd he go?
all right.
Why would
So
you cover up the stone so we can't take it?
the sound of that you've never heard before, one of like a cross between an electrical sound and the tearing of newspaper. And suddenly, at first one rock, and then two and three, and then eventually, as if dumped from a giant bucket in the heavens, comes a downpour of rocks around the size of Shadrach's head and maybe smaller. And they bounce off the egg at first, but eventually they start landing around it, and more land and fly off to the side, but continue to build. And it's just and it's very loud and it's dangerous. And as you guys back away from the ricocheting rocks, after about 30 seconds, there's so many rocks that there's now this huge mount covering the egg completely. And all these rocks, at first you're not sure, but those of you that are more of a foresty types, you recognize these rocks that they look like they've come from some stream somewhere, because there's a bunch of smooth ones mixed in with sharp ones. And after the shower of rocks is over, you see like a 15 or 20 foot wide pile that goes some 10 feet high of just rock and stone, and the egg is completely covered, and the last ricocheting rock kind of tumbles down off the top and stops at the foot of Shadrach, and he drops, his hand opens and it's empty, and like a little wisp of brown dust kind of wafts off into the wind, and that's your spell.
It's time to go back. Chad looks at him and says, "It's time to go."
There's no need to take it back. I'll explain it to you.
It's safer here. I will cast another spell if I may.
Yes. When you're done casting spells, let me know.
I will again pull a small handful of mistletoe, crushing it in my hand so that it makes my hand bleed. Say, Mother and Father, cover this place, remember it, and protect it. And I'll look at Bart and say, now. And everybody can feel and hear the bushes. I can't plant growth again. I'm casting plant growth over the cairn of rocks. And then,
all right, and then what?
I'm covering the egg and the rocks in this total thicket of vines and thorns and bushes, and it will be there until somebody hacks it away.
I grab Chad by the fucking shoulder and cast.
Just Shadrach?
Grab hold of me.
Just Shadrach?
No, I said,
What's going on?
grab hold.
I do. Hold a hold. Yeah, Shad will grab the person closest to him that's not Bart.
I grab your shoulder, Chad.
That's what I'm saying. Bart grabs Shad, Shad grabs whoever. Probably Boris. And Boris would probably grab, I don't know. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
And Brad, what are you casting? Bart, what are you casting?
I'm casting Teleport Without Air. I have them right one time.
Alright. So you
We're going back to the wizard mark.
Mutter the incantation, and once again, as if a flash from a bulb, pow, and you're momentarily blinded. And you teleport to where? Back to your wizard mark?
Yep.
And there you are.
Yep.
In the darkness.
Wherever you are, there he is. Everybody's stomach okay?
All right, now what? What do you guys do
Now we can
now?
talk to the abbot, Chad. You and I need to go talk to the abbot. Chad?
I'm sorry. what do you say to Shad?
You and I need to go talk to the abbot.
Shad's looking at you. His eyes are solid green, and there's drool coming out of his mouth, and he just kind of like grins.
I like that, to you.
And if you were trying to touch him, he'll push your hand away. But he won't. Other than that, he's just standing there staring at you. Like I said, drool coming out of his mouth. And he says, Vanessa.
So when Daryl comes back,
I know.
I don't know what she was doing.
Small magic down here now.
That's what I'm saying. The last thing that happened, she was there casting her shit, and she may be gone by now because we've been gone for hours. We've been gone for like a whole day.
Gone for a day. We're gone for a full day at least.
Yeah, but like, we've been gone for like at least 12 or 14 hours or something.
Hold on. All right. So
if she's still there.
All right. Hold on.
But Shad's been saying.
Hold on. So when they teleported away, Vanessa, if I remember correct, was she casting a spell or was she just praying or?
She was praying. She was going to perform a ceremony to consecrate the ground.
That's right. Okay.
Which is the long ceremony that she performed in order to cleanse the spirits. After actually reading the ceremony, that portion of the spell, it's done when something's going to be built there. So as an afterthought, it really doesn't have an effect. But she's doing it out of ceremoniously removing evil spirits, and in the name of the blend, she's wafting the incense about and praying.
Okay. So that
Just a whole ritual ceremony.
That took you an hour. What did you do after that?
Tell the abbot.
Sit down and cry for Shad.
Been prepared, and it'll be coming back, I guess.
It'll be coming around.
All right. Well, you have the whole day to do whatever, so you can just do monk stuff, or you can do something else.
I will assist in the infirmary for the day and spend my time doing it.
Very good. All right, so no one comes back that night.
Something horrible has happened.
And do you do anything before you go to bed?
Nope, nothing special.
All right. So you wake up and you're safe and sound in your room. And
Say my morning prayers, and I'll go to breakfast, and then I'll check on the room.
And when you get down there, you can hear a sound coming from the room. And as you walk down there, you hear, I can't see anything, it's dark. As Shadrach and Bard are standing in the dark, fumbling about.
I can see.
Vanessa.
I should have lit these candles. What was I thinking?
Probably blew about.
Chad, if you look Chad in the face, his eyes are pure human eyes. He's like, Vanessa.
She'll help him.
The egg is safe. It's safe. And then he just again pushes past her and goes out the door.
What did you learn? And she stands in awe, and she's looking at this egg that she's seeing for the first time.
Yeah, I see the egg.
There's no egg.
What? Right?
Chad said to you, the egg is safe, and then he just pushed past her and walked outside.
So
what did you learn?
If Vanessa has infravision,
She does.
when she comes down the stairs, she would see that Bart and Shadrach are there in the dark, and that there is nothing else with them.
The people.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess
He
Guy,
pushed
everyone's there, but
Alex-
everyone's standing there in the dark, and so if you
Are
can't,
Guy and Boris there?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. I was like, oh no, Guy and Boris come live back.
Oopsie, grab a hold.
Uh-oh.
We have to go get him tomorrow.
What did you learn?
Out of the darkness, you hear Vanessa's voice.
I'll explain to you as we walk up. Evidently, he needed some air. Oh.
Come on, you two.
Oh.
Boris will head for the
I
light.
like to see the light shone on rapid.
He said that was
Okay.
I had a hot tub and some wine. That was great.
I just closed the door.
Now, those
What?
of you that do not have infravision, you can actually see and you can move about without bumping into things.
Alright, so I'll explain to you in full what's going on and as
Okay.
we walk out.
He and Boris fall over each other getting out of the room.
He said he was out. He was like, get out of the room. Oh, he likes to go
She takes interest in every word and listens intently to Bart's description.
I explained it all. How safe where it's at. We chose not to bring it with us because it was safe where it was at. Giant sure part. We didn't want to put the Abbey in any danger.
So it's part of the Aslorian culture?
Huh? Do what?
It's part of the Aslorian culture?
Yeah.
The Druidic society?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you told me about it.
I'm talking to Nikki, I'm sorry.
Brad's on the other phone call.
Phone call. Oh, you can call. But anyways, yes.
Okay.
But it's determined by Shad, it was safer where it sits. Well, determined by me and Shad that it was safer where it sits.
Okay.
But we know what it does and we can access it if we need it, so.
You say the Giants are looking for it.
Yeah, but it's safe where it sits. Put it that way.
You-
It's been hidden quite well.
I trust magical instincts. I have to.
It's Shad, so it's created by druids, so I gave him full disclosure on what to do with it.
Well,
Myself, I can bring it back here.
save the race.
Hold on, one at a time. Go, Brad.
Well, if it was in me, I would have brought it back, let everybody see it, and then took it back. But, you know, it was made by druids, so I let the druid do with this he sees fit.
Is the wizard mark still visible?
Oh yeah, it will be there till I remove it.
Maybe, just so it isn't pissing anybody off, maybe, if you're not going to use it, I mean, is it marking?
It doesn't
this-
glow.
I'm sorry, what?
Huh? It's not glowing or anything. It's just a mark in the floor.
I just
But
making
I can
sure.
remove it. I can remove it if you want to.
If it served its purpose, then you could, but if you still need it, then that's fine.
I know where I'm at now. I can always use this. I can always come here, so.
I love you, Grant.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you guys do now?
We'll have to decide our next move. Gonna move out of the.
You got one, Chad. And the Abbott. Sure.
Unless anybody parked the shed, Shad's outside.
We know Shad ran for the outside. He's claustrophobic.
Where did you go, Shad?
Hey, Bart.
Dan just went outside and got
Hold
the mayor.
on.
That's
Hold
Bart went outside the door.
What?
the door to the outside
Courtyard.
of the building? Courtyard,
Yeah,
okay.
Courtyard.
Secret door. Would you mind closing it now that we're leaving here?
Sure.
I don't know if I could do it. I got big hands.
It slides easy, doesn't it? So you slide shut.
Okay, so as
Look, it goes
everyone
back in.
exits and Bart pulls the door shut, you hear
Is that in the mind if I use this as a story door?
you hear the sounds of a couple like things bumping into each other, like a heavy thunk, and you realize that the door has the lock has been reset.
Oh, okay. That's what I was hoping for. Oh.
All right, and you guys exit the lower area and go where?
I'm gonna let the abbot know. Bart, will you come with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shad, where's Shad?
He's out at the Courtyard.
You see Shad is probably sitting down rocking, talking to himself, mumbling.
He's been exposed to new magic.
There's tears on his cheeks.
Boris is gonna
Who
go.
addresses him first?
Still got your crow's feet? Oh.
Daryl, go
I'm
ahead.
sitting
Daryl, go ahead.
this Indian style.
Daryl, go ahead.
I just wanted to say Boris is gonna walk away for a while and be on his own. He's getting away from these wizards.
Okay.
He will go in and be like, what the hell just happened, man? What kind of bullshit was that?
I don't know. I've never seen magic before like that.
I thought I was protecting a wizard. I wound up in a hot tub with a handful of wine. What am I doing? I think we've been bewitched.
Tonight you are.
We need to find your sister, my friend.
We need to do that. I thought we were trying to get the egg.
I don't know what those idiots are doing. They're insane.
We need to see about getting a boat. Get them giant.
All right,
Say
so
All these people are, okay, yeah. So Guy and Boris are like, these people are nuts.
okay, who is going to see the abbot besides Bart and Vanessa? All right.
Shad is out, holding his head, rocking.
Shadrach should be in tow. I want to consult Shadrach before I go to the abbot.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Shadrach, are you okay?
Shad has tears on his cheeks. He's like, the egg is safe. The egg is
That's good.
safe.
That's good. Mark told me that it was part of the Druidic culture.
The egg is safe. The giants, we must find them.
Yes, I
We
agree.
must find them and destroy them. We must destroy them.
All right, calm down. Maybe you shouldn't go see the
A couple monks walk by, shuffling along, carrying buckets, and they stop and they look at whatever scene this is, and then they look at Sister Vanessa with looks of inquisition or inquisitive looks on their faces, expecting something.
Suicide?
Does Vanessa acknowledge their presence, or?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what they're expecting. I look back at them, and I nod.
They're looking at this heap of Shadrach, and they seem concerned.
I'm kneeling over him,
Pull this up together now. Let's go.
Talking to him.
You touch me?
No.
Yeah.
If Vanessa touches me, Shad will take her hand or touch her hand and then stand up.
I'm looking for a spell, actually. I think I'm in the wrong... Oops.
Yeah, Shad looks kind of fragile right now.
Yeah, she's trying to help him out. Compose yourself. It'll be okay. You saved it.
Is it a spell that was cast before, like calming mind, or fucking shut the fuck up, or?
I'm thinking merciful touch. I'm just trying to get in the right spot. I wanted to look at it and see if it's... I'm trying to ease his suffering, ease his pain is my idea. Give him some kind of calming. My priest ability, there is something of that effect.
Sonic Black.
Calm down over there, you. That's a great spell.
Oh.
Soothing words.
Is that it? Soothing words?
Yay!
Why you wanna? Oh.
That's if you roll a 1.
That's one of my
Why
clerical powers. Is that going to do it says Designing Faith's chapter is where you'll find the information on that. Because I don't know. I think it's.
I would say just maybe remember Vanessa needs to remember I'm not of the faith. I'm a separate person.
But still, I can.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You know. Yes, you're familiar. I know.
The soothing word works for all faiths. The blend and accept of all faiths.
Yeah, Vanessa and Shad have their own connection. Yeah, that's understood.
Alright.
Can you touch it?
Touch would be like Shad would be like, yeah, I get it.
Okay, I've been right.
No, you don't know, Bart. Shame on you.
What? I don't know. Shame on me. I thought she handled magic.
No, that's what I'm saying. Vanessa's touch and a kind word would probably change Bart or change Chad's perspective quickly. Because after you teleported, the first thing Chad was doing was Vanessa. Vanessa.
Well, they got out of a TV tube.
Yeah, merciful touch is close to what I was thinking, but it's actually a healing. It relieves pain and suffering from broken bones and.
Yeah, I can give women in labor relief.
Yeah. But if you read that closely, it specifies a particular priestess. So, but, you know.
But yeah, you could find something to calm me.
Right.
You said,
if I can do
you said it's soothing word, right?
Find a common spell.
Okay.
Look under orisons. Tell you what, look under in the priest handbook. Look under orisons, and I'll do that myself. But there's probably one that will do that.
All right. So, what do you say, Vanessa, to use your soothing words upon this creature?
Let the peace of the blend fill your soul, Shadrach. Ease your mind and accept that you have achieved your goal.
Shadrach, you can feel the power starting to affect you, Do you choose to deny the power of the soothing word, or do you accept it?
I take Vanessa's hand and hold it to my forehead and accept it.
And in game terms, that's called voluntarily failing your saving throw. And your mood instantly lightens. You are calmed. Your tics and your rocking cease. Your thoughts of the egg and of the ancient lore that you've just uncovered become part of your background thoughts, and the thoughts that now fill your mind are those of peaceful groves, flying in a form that you've shape changed into, or having a conversation with a stubborn mule and getting it to keep moving, helping a lonely passerby.
If anything, Shad is holding Vanessa's hand to his forehead and takes it away and says, "My lady, thank you. We are safe."
I embrace him. I give you a hug.
And as
Yay!
her giant, her very tall form kind of engulfs you like a parent to a child. You're just all...
Shad loves it.
All right. Well...
Now, let's go see the end of it.
All right. Let's make this our final scene of the evening.
Yay!
So... Bart,
Well, that's it.
is it Bart, Shadrach, and Vanessa going to see the abbot? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, you have no trouble going there because Vanessa takes you right there, and you know where it is. And Abbot Patrick is preparing to make the rounds to the townsfolk because it's market day.
It's market day.
Greetings, Abbot Patrick.
So he is, as you all are talking, he is having his assistant dress him and make sure everything is in place. So he says, "Yes, good morning. What can I do for you today?"
I wanted to inform you that the relic we spoke of will not be coming here.
I see.
Jimmy books.
But I thank you for your acceptance of my ideas and helping.
This must be the prince I heard so much about.
This is Prince Bartolanthus Amalera. Prince, this is the Abbot Patrick.
Yeah.
He and Shadrach have very much. And she steps back and kind of gives them the floor.
Go into 4-part harmony on what we found out about the egg.
And Patrick, thank you for offering the monastery to protect the egg. The egg is safe where it is, and it shall remain so as far as I know. You have no responsibility at all, and the world will settle this. The balance will settle itself. But for now, the egg is safe. For yourselves, I cannot say that, but I know the egg is safe.
Speaking of which, do you have any astrological books we can... Oh.
Prince Bartolanthus was key in determining this factor. And I give him all of my praise and thanks here before you. Without his help, this might have taken months, if not years, if not absolute failure. But his power, his prowess, his knowledge has brought us to this point. And I think, if nothing else, we need to decide what happens next. It's in our power to decide what happens next.
The abbot stops. He like puts his arms down after the assistant was like helping him put on an outer vestment, and he kind of steps to the side for a second and looks at Bart, and he says, "Wow, you're really something else, aren't you, Prince?"
Yeah, something else,
Well, it appears that you certainly impressed Shadrach.
He impressed me with a few of his spells as well.
What of Boris and Guy?
Well, they're helpful. They kept this protection.
So they made it back alive,
They're good purpose. They didn't understand.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fine. I just was wondering if they made it
They
back
understand,
alive.
but
They're
they
not
stood-
here.
They stood well.
Oh,
They stood in our defense, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Bye-bye, Shauna.
like
Oh. She said, "Did you send a text that I didn't get?" All
I
right.
see her still.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I don't think they really had much information to give other than what we already had, so we decided to come up and just do it ourselves.
All right.
Slack.
Well,
I'm sorry that we imposed this burden upon you.
you haven't done anything. All you've done is go and give information, and you decided that was the best course, and that's all any of us can do is do what we think is best. So, as far as I'm concerned, everyone made it back alive. Sister Vanessa seems to not be in any distress or have
I
heard
trust the evidence, sir. And Prince
anything.
B seems to be on our side.
Very good, and I trust Vanessa. So, once again, you can stay here as long as you feel like you need to. Other than that, I appreciate you telling me this.
Leave your house,
Like I said, I'm going back north as soon as possible.
What's
Did
that?
you send word to the Republic?
Yes,
Very good.
yes, I have
It would be
done.
helpful if they controlled the coast.
I have sent word not
We need to
only
find
to
them. Okay.
not only
I'm still
to
listening.
Czechs, but to the Praetor at Tila as well. Well, all right then. That's well, I have to prepare for market day. The people will want to see me. I hope to see you all later.
Eddie Blessings.
Thank
We need
you.
to get Boris to go after Boris' sister.
Again, Chad says I'm returning north as soon as possible.
Should I go visit his fine chance Boris' sister?
The
I
island
think
to
the
the south.
fortress needs to be secured. I think that for your purposes and mine,
I'm not
we
worried
need
about
to
the egg.
return. No, I'm not worried about the egg, Bartholansis. It's the slavers.
Right. we
They're
need to go
next.
after Boris' sister.
The egg is protected. Now, I think it's time to move on the slavers, and the best place to move on the slavers will be from the old fortress.
That's
And-
to the north. The
Yes,
islands are
and
to the
Sister
south.
Vanessa, you can start. No, it's north. Everything is north. And
I'm sorry.
Sister Vanessa can begin her area. Where's Kettle Tom? Kettle Tom needs to be there.
I'm sure he's here at the monastery.
I think we need to arrange a major expedition returning to the port to establish a base of operations.
That's going to be a long project, trying to get the fort back into a settlement situation.
No, I think if we can return it to a civilization very quickly, but really we need to find the slavers and destroy them. And Shab will kind of like shiver a little bit.
That's why I'm suggesting that you wait on that plan, because the islands are to the south that the giants inhabit, and that's where they're taking the slaves. So we need to
I've
get a
seen that island, Vanessa. I've seen it.
I've seen the slaves.
If they return, they'll return to the fort. I think they're stupid. I think they think that we're not as tough as they are. If you understand what I'm saying. After all that we've done, I believe that they believe that we don't have it left in us, and they'll come back.
If they come
are stubborn people. Remember how many died? You don't remember. They died. Vanessa, they died like animals.
they are
They'll be
millions,
back.
perhaps.
They'll be back.
There's just too many of them.
No, there's not too many, but they'll be back. There's not too many of anything, Vanessa. The world, the balance. Even though it seems out of balance, there's not too many of anything. In the end, it's all a flat line.
I would have to say there's too many slaves, because we need to end it.
Yes, but that is the key, because that is out of balance.
Small reading party, go take out
And
slaves.
when we free those slaves and destroy the slavers, the balance will be returned. I agree. No, but these slavers, they're fools. They think of themselves. They think themselves stronger than we are. They think they're smarter than we are.
Now while they're on their...
Yes, I agree. Let them come again. Let them come again. And this time, remember before. You don't remember, Vanessa. I wanted to surrender myself to them so they could make the mistake of taking me into their heart, or I could destroy them. And instead, we attacked them. But we can do, again, I say, if we go back to the fortress, they'll come back. They'll come back.
That's not going to stop it. That's not going to free any slaves. That's not going to get Boris's sister back.
But we have no connection to them. We have nothing now. We have no... If they come back, we can capture them, interrogate them. I don't want to use the word torture, but we can learn. We know nothing now. We know next to nothing except a few dreams and visions.
Yeah, you're going to a dark place there, Shadrach.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know.
We don't need to capture them. We just need to make them stop. Hey, cut it out.
They won't stop.
They will stop.
Unless we...
Not so hard.
I don't understand the Achaemenians. I don't understand them. I don't understand slavery. I don't understand.
Well,
And yet there is thriving,
the stronger people
strong,
find the weaker people, and they want to make the weaker people do their work.
Covidius told us of this. They're a powerful, rich, strong culture.
Yeah,
But
the rich aren't all that
based
powerful, trust
upon
me.
slavery.
They forced the slaves to fight for their entertainment.
Yeah, that's not right.
And how do they acquire wealth and power by this? That is
In
my
my vision, they were the people
Selling slaves to
in
the
chains.
They must be destroyed.
But where's a boat? Where do we get a boat? That's the thing. We can't go to the island.
If they come back, we go back in their boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
You might have a connection now, but they're going to know the fort is destroyed, so therefore they don't have a reason to come back to it. Because they're going to slave to build it. We free the slaves.
We need to learn what happened to Colam, and that, okay, let me get this out of the way. We know nothing what happened to Colam. We don't know what happened to that army that was there. We don't know anything about that. We know nothing about it.
Perhaps I should.
Am I right or am I wrong?
You are right.
There was an army of hundreds of Acranians that we know nothing about now.
Colan called down the Constellations.
Colan was restored to his magical horn. We know nothing about that now. All that we know is that the fortress is still there and that we burnt the inside of it. That's all we know.
My vision did say that it wasn't the only thing that was defeated, wasn't the fort, but it didn't specify. But it implied Colan had been defeated because it now fell to us to protect the Constellations egg. And you have done that, Shadrach. I trust that you have.
Yeah.
There's still, there's still some blank spaces.
Powerful relic.
I'm very tempted. You don't understand.
To use it?
You see tears would go down Shad's cheeks. He's like, yes.
Uh-oh.
There are
That soothing words worn off.
There are gods of peace and tranquility in the constellations. I'm not an astrologist, but I do know deities in religion. If you say that these constellations are linked,
Is this Vanessa saying this?
yes. If you say these constellations are linked to deity, then
Vanessa, do you have any books about that?
Chad reaches out and touches Vanessa's cheek and he goes, you don't know. You have no idea. And then he puts his hand away and weeps.
Vanessa, I may be short, but do you have any books on the constellations and astrology in the library?
I'm sure we can consult the sacrist and the librarian.
Because I'd like to consult the books before we make any decisions. I respect you, Shad. I respect your idea.
Chad is distraught.
Huh?
Chad is distraught. He's clearly being confused.
We need to learn about the constellations and about some astrology before we go make any decisions about anything. But for now, the egg is sick. We could use the egg maybe to get to the slavers and take the slavers out. But
Every time you say egg, Chad looks at you and says, the egg.
I don't want to get him started.
And the tears, Shad's cheeks are burnt with tears and drool.
Yeah.
All the bars to wipe out everything in flavor.
Oh, I wanted Chad to have astronomy a long time ago because I know that it's part of the thing. Gotta know the stars and shit for the crops.
I leave a couple non-weapon from seasonal produce fortune.
Excellent. No, I'm all hip with this. Them giants are in trouble. I don't care. The slavers are in trouble. Oh yeah, they're in trouble. There's gonna be there will be blood. There will be blood. Chad, you go insane. Hands on that.
I don't know if you can activate the thing while it's under a pile of rocks, though, dude.
Oh, I don't know. Really?
Yeah, because it's bought based, so.
What I'm saying is,
Yep.
we can go back to it and make it rain.
All Chad has to go is just lay there next to it and have a dream.
I just need him to, like, it could be
I've been planning this for weeks, Daryl.
It's protected.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying, yeah, you're gonna have a major effort times 2 or 3 will have to be done to get
Not
to
really. Not really. I can get to it pretty quick.
Well, no, if they have a powerful spellcaster, you're right. But I think that will become obvious real quick. Because, as I said, Chad wants to return. Chad must go back there as soon as possible. That he's seen where he must make his place. Stonehenge, he's seen it. We'll see.
But you don't know where it is. That's the thing. You teleported there.
Yeah, you don't know where it's
I
at.
think I can find it. I can fly there as a bird and find it.
True.
I would
You only know it's a week away from that fucking port. You don't know in which direction.
Oh no! I know where it is. It's north.
We got out the islands.
No, we're not south of the monastery. It's north of the monastery. I know that. I can find it. No, I'll find it. Don't even try me. I'll just do crystal pool and I'll find it. It's all right.
Yeah, Vanessa could do that.
Don't try me, Sir Bart.
Well, you know, Bart probably went back to Squire and got it.
With that identity.
I learned everything I could possibly learn with that one identified spell. That's the first time I learned everything I should know from this identity spell.
That's awesome.
First time.
You pull all kinds of info.
All right, are we finished?
Well, we needed Bart. That was good.
Yep.
All right. That ends episode 47. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
We were on episode 47 last time I played.
Nothing? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Unless something changes, we'll see you next week, right?
Have a good week, fellas.
All right.
Good night.
Very
That was a
good.
great one. Thank you.
Good
It's
night.
only in 10 minutes. Bye.
Be safe. Good night, Internet.